Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lesmerises joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah,
and then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next three. Reese is here. Jacob is here as well. Lots to get to, kids. We're pretty loaded up here on a Thursday anyway, but now we've got 20 most interesting as well. So we're going to hit your emails at 10 o'clock, which is customary. We'll go higher, lower at 10:20. Doug Maurice going to join us today at 10:30. As Paul is going to join tomorrow on the show. Normally, Paul joins on the Thursday at 10:30, so he's going Friday. So Doug moves in to his Thursday spot. Then in the final hour, the 11 o'clock hour, 20 most interesting programs, the Alabama Crimson Tide, who, if you have that video game, you know that they are the number one team in terms of overall talent on the roster, but the pressure that Kalen DeBoer is under is second to not many in all of college football. So we'll get into that as the program goes along as well. As Reese mentioned there in the update, the Open Championship is underway. Probably the score of the first round, when you look at it, is a T11 minus 1 under in the clubhouse for Phil Mickelson. So he's in the mix. One of the big stories leading into this one, of course, was Scotty Scheffler and his comments from earlier the week. And, of course, Rory McIlroy returning to Northern Ireland to play. He has yet to tee off. It does not look great over there. And it's going to be kind of a dicey weekend around here, too, with all the thunderstorms and stuff around. So be careful out there. But certainly one of the highlights, or not highlights, one of the headlines of this week has been, it's about a 5-minute answer. And, Reese, you played a little bit of it, I want to say yesterday on the show, about from Scotty Scheffler and some of his comments. And I made the comment afterward that it made me a little sad because it made it to me, my read of it was that he was in his own head and was unable to enjoy his own process. But look, it's possible that I read things wrong all the time. Ask my wife. I consistently read things wrong. I got a great email. We'll do the emails at 10 o'clock. I had a great email from Rob on this topic. And the subject was Scotty's answer revealed the key ingredient to his success. He writes, "Hey, Bo, longtime listener, love listening to your show." Well, parenthetically, we thank you for that. "My 2 cents about Scotty's perplexing answer about fulfillment in sports. I believe that Scotty shared revealed the key ingredient to the recipe of success. I will conclude that he probably used some hyperbolic language in his candid response. Does he really only care for 2 minutes after a win? The euphoria of winning golf's biggest events lasts a bit longer than that. Come on, at least a day, right? What I took him to say is that golf is not the ultimate to him, that it's the ingredient. Golf is not his everything. In his words, it's fleeting, and that's why he can play free and loose, and all golfers desire to play with freedom. Scotty has found it. Yes, he hates losing and is a sicko when it comes to practice, but he's learned that life is so much bigger than the sport he plays really, really well. Juxtapose Scotty with Tiger. While Tiger dominated externally, internally he was deteriorating." We mentioned that, by the way, the way that Tiger's personal life was a mess. The weight of Tiger's expectations and obsession with winning apparently was a burden too heavy to bear. I'm a huge Tiger fan, but I can't deny how broken his moral compass has been at times. Scotty articulated what has made Jack so endearing and more importantly, enduring. Golf was not everything for him. It's a matter of priorities. Just listen to Jack talk about his family. It's beautiful. And you can't help but compare Rory and Scotty, two of the greats speaking at the same time. But I give the edge to Scotty because of that freedom and confidence comes from the peace deep within his faith in God. Respectfully, I don't think his answer had anything to do with today's youth. Instead, it had everything to do with keeping life in perspective. It's actually a lesson today's youth need to hear. In our culture of travel sports, specializing at a young age, and me focus instead of team focus, I'm speaking generally here, of course, the perspective articulated by Scotty leads to more well-rounded and wholehearted life. Sorry for the long email. Keep up the great work, Rob. I can see that. That isn't necessarily how I took it. But there was a lot to it. It's a 5-minute answer. It's been one of the most replayed things on Sports Talk podcast. You probably have had it shared in text group chains. I know I have by several. Have you seen this? Yeah, we've seen it. I played it. It was a window into an elite athlete and his mindset going into one of the things that he's judged upon. And I took it in part as, man, he's not even able to enjoy this. But I can certainly see this. I can see Rob's point as well, that maybe while this is what he does, this does not define him, and he's going to refuse to let it define him. So I see that too. I think it's a good point.
I hope that's the case, because so hearing Scotty's comments the first time, I was like, oh, that stinks. Because I thought a lot about Ryan Day and Urban Meyer and Nick Saban. God. And how a lot of those guys, a lot of the time, seem kind of miserable with the slog of it all. You know, in the college football playoff, when you're winning Rose Bowls and college football semifinal games, great, I can celebrate. But even before the confetti hits the ground, I am on to the next. I have no time to really, truly enjoy this. And so I do hope it's the case for Scotty, where he's just like, yeah, it's part of me, but it is not me. And I think that's the healthiest thing that you can instill upon, especially today's youth. Like, what you do does not define you. It should not define you. And the comparison to Tiger is astute, where, he was as locked in as anybody, and of any athlete really of all time, but the personal life was a complete mess. I mean, you hear all the time, like, what would social media have been like if Michael Jordan was around when Twitter and Instagram were a thing? And it's like, you'd probably see a lot of things that would make you think less of his airness. Mm-hmm. A lot. Yeah. It's a good point you bring up about, and I do, as you said it clicked for me too when you brought up Urban and Saban. Obviously, we spend the majority of our time here talking college football, and obviously Ohio State football is at the center of it. And it's very possible that I carry like the sports intellectual baggage of seeing those two operate and apply it to others, because there's no question that as I was thinking of Scotty when he first talked about winning the Masters and then celebrating for 2 minutes, I thought of that story of Urban after winning the national championship at Florida, sitting on the bus making phone calls to recruits. Think about that. I mean, couldn't even enjoy it in the day. I mean, Saban, there's stories of Saban doing similar, like couldn't even enjoy it in the moment, was already on to the next. I do think that you brought up Ryan. I do think that Ryan has done a really good job this year of basking in it. You can't ever get away from it. I mean, we had Threes on yesterday, and he talked about that there's not a whole lot of time in Montana. Really, like, he couldn't get away from it fully. Never, no. But Ryan would say the same thing, and we'll have him on in a couple of weeks when we broadcast live at practice. But one thing that I've noticed from Coach Day over the course of, especially in the days and the weeks and the month or so that followed the national championship, was an enjoyment of it. Let's bask in the fruits of our labor here a little bit, and I think we can all do that a little bit more. You know. I find myself victim of it all the time of, okay, what's next? And sometimes just take a breath and realize that things are pretty good. And it's a great email out of Rob. This is, Jacob, you were up. What time did you get up to start watching this?
I got up at 4:30 and was watching by 5.
That's healthy. If you'd have told me you got up you took an early bedtime at 8, got up at midnight 30 so you could be ready by like 1:10, that'd have been a little sick.
What is your big takeaway so far from round one?
I mean, it's been on and off weather conditions, of course, over there. It's been raining for a little bit, and then it stops. You've got guys taking off their rain gear and then putting it back on. But I think we're going to see, it looks like we got some low scores right now, 4 under and stuff. But if the weather...
4 under in, yeah.
Yeah, if the weather keeps up, it could get a really interesting cut line.
Yeah, I heard one of the broadcasters say, who was finishing it up? I think it was Westwood, got in with 69. Did I have that right? Yeah, he did.
Yep.
And as he was chipping for birdie, and then he got it within a foot, and he tapped in for par on 18, and he took a 69. And the broadcaster said, everybody who is following him, if I told them you can have 69 right now, they would all take it. Sign the scorecard, 2 under. We'll see you tomorrow. Because to Jacob's point, it's going to get a lot tougher as the day goes along, and the weather's just so unpredictable over there. You just don't know what you're going to get. Many of the key groups have not yet teed off over at Royal Portrush. So there you go. Good job of Rob on the email. We'll get the rest of those emails coming up. As I mentioned, very loaded program. Nice night last night for the Buckeyes at the ESPYs. You'll hear from Will Howard from the red carpet as he's continuing to bask in the afterglow of winning that national championship. We'll get into all of that. And Shane Gillis put a zinger on the team up north. We'll get to that as well. We're off and running on a Thursday edition. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The sound of Paul Keels calling a Buckeye game is erotic.
Oh, yes.
Your home of the Buckeyes, The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Your bathroom's got to go, the vanity's decayed, and toilet's really old. The bathtub's giving way. Give Baths R Us a ring. Call morning, noon, or night. You do not have to wait to get your bathroom right.
Call Baths R Us for your free estimate and enter to win our Christmas in July $12,500 bathroom remodel with an additional savings of up to $3,000 plus low to no monthly payments. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Bourbon. Cherry Valley Hotel will be hosting a bourbon event called Neat on Saturday, July 26th from 4 to 9 p.m. Explore 15 distilleries, including Woodford, Middle West, and Watershed, along with live music, a cigar bar, classes, and more. For more information, visit cherryvalleyhotel.com.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
The sun is out and the savings are on at Coughlin Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Take up to $7,000 off MSRP on any new Kia EV in stock, or get up to $3,000 off MSRP plus 0% financing for 60 months. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Largest Kia dealer based on current ground stock at all 4 Coughlin Kia locations. 0% for 60 months equals $1,667 for 1,000 finance. All manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. Dealer financing required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. Ends 7/31/25.
Friday, July 25th is Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair. Visit the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, the Department of Insurance, and other state agency booths. Come learn about mental health resources available to you and to your family. Join us on Friday, July 25th for Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair.
Save big money on your next staining project right now at Menards. Pittsburgh's ultra-advanced semi-transparent exterior stain and sealant in one can be applied on damp wood, allowing you to clean the surface and stain in one day. Save big on ultra-advanced exterior stain and sealant. And don't forget to check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Tim Hortons Camp Day is back on Wednesday with 100% of purchases on all hot and iced coffee sales donated to Tim Hortons Foundation camps. The Fan will be on site at the North High Street Tim Hortons from 11 to 1 with gift card giveaways.
The Buckeyes are national champions. And you listen to it all right here on The Fan. And next year when they do it again, it'll be here on The Fan. And the year after that, well, you know the drill. Always and forever, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan.
Have you experienced foot or ankle pain during or after sports, running, or exercising at the gym? Nagging aches in your foot or ankle that won't go away? Podiatric physicians can provide you with important foot care solutions, shoe inserts, or show you how to support your feet and ankles so you're able to compete or exercise comfortably. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state and have been serving the profession and the public for over 100 years. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know The same goes for learning how to drive. Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, although not as widespread as yesterday. Otherwise, skies will be partly sunny with our highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, lows down into the 60s overnight with mostly cloudy skies and a stray chance of showers and storms. And then as we go into your Friday, yet again, chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with our temperatures in the 80s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan. Producers, co-hosts, friends, some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
You hear that? That's the sound of freedom. This July, declare your independence on the open road during RCD RV's Declare Your Independence sale. It runs July 5th through the 19th. We're offering all-American savings on all in-stock motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers. Wave goodbye to ordinary vacations. Say hello to adventure. Stop by any of our locations, Delaware, Heath, Pataskala. Shop online anytime at rcdrv.com and celebrate the red, white, and blue with unbeatable savings at RCD RV. RCD RV, freedom starts on the open road. ESPYs last night. Shane Gillis was your host. Our guy, Will Howard. Buckeyes won an award, but not the team award. What were they honored?
They won the
Capital One Cup? Capital One Cup?
Ohio State men's athletics and North Carolina women's athletics won the Capital One Cup for the respective sexes.
There you go. Good job. So they did not win best team. They were up for that. I think Philadelphia Eagles won that, perhaps. Howard was on the red carpet, and we're going to hear from him on myriad things. Let's start with ending his college career with a natty.
No better way to end a college career. I mean, it's like a Cinderella ending. You know, you talk about wanting to end it the right way, and you know, everything I poured into Ohio State and everyone that came back and wanted to, you know, make that last season special. It meant the world. And that moment, you know, holding up that trophy with all my boys, and, you know, some of them are here tonight. It was a special moment.
He was also asked what the last 6 months have been like. Let's have a listen.
Hectic, I'm not going to lie. It's been crazy, but it's all a blessing. You know, I'm just trying to enjoy it as much as I can. You know, the whole draft process, combine, pro day, and then you get drafted, and then about a week later get shipped off to Pittsburgh. And for me, it's close to home. I grew up in Philadelphia, so, you know, I'm a Pennsylvania kid, so it's nice to be able to stay home. But, you know, I was there working out for about 2 months, and now we got a month off, so I'm getting to do some cool things like, you know, the ESPYs, and then we report next week. So I'm excited. You know, I think it's an unbelievable opportunity for me to learn from a guy like Aaron Rodgers, who's a legend. And, you know, I remember growing up watching him win Super Bowls and MVPs and all that. So, I mean, it's just an unbelievable opportunity. Really blessed.
Forget the last 6 months. How about the last 18? I mean, this is a guy who, you know, folks in Manhattan were saying, look, like, they were ready to turn the page to another quarterback. He gets some feelers out there. We'll never know if he was Ohio State's first choice. Everything I kind of heard is that they were pretty big on Riley Leonard and trying to get into that game a little bit late. But Cam Ward was going to be a money guy, and it was going to be like whoever's the highest, and that was Miami. So then Will becomes available, and, you know, when he's signed, I remember we'd have guests on from Kansas State and folks who called. Everybody talked about his leadership. They talked about all of this, but weren't sure where he could be in terms of, would the accuracy be there? Would the ability to drive the ball down the field be there? Then you think about a guy who gets here and you played 4 years of college football, then they put a black stripe on your helmet. You got to earn it. You think about a little more than a year ago at this time, and we were out at the open practices, and it was pretty obvious that while there was a competition, that it was Will's team, but we still weren't sure exactly what we were getting out of him. You have what happened in the Oregon game at the end where we run out of time, and you think you just don't know if he's going to be a guy who can actually lead you. And then I think the injuries on the offensive front, and I think when the team really became his is Penn State. That was a personal game for him. It meant everything. They didn't recruit him. He owned that in the lead up to it, and then he played great. And then to rally the team after the Michigan loss, all of it. He had barely a little more than a year here. But my God, what a year. I mean, it's storybook in every way when you think about that year.
Yeah, the way he was able to respond after that early pick six in Happy Valley against Penn State.
Yeah.
Just his ability really to respond all season to mistakes, to moments that weren't so great. I mean, the idea that he worked his way to become an alpha in a room full of alphas. Mm-hmm. They sent 8 guys defensively to the NFL.
Yeah.
It's an incredible story that we'll tell forever because you didn't think this time last year you knew what you were getting, really. Like, it took for me to go to camp to kind of see, all right, this could work.
Yeah.
Because what the hell, you get a Kansas State quarterback, you kind of feel like they might have missed out on this. And maybe there was some Julian Sain talk because they had 5 guys in the quarterback room, but Saban takes a hike and, Sain's available and they go get him. And like, well, do you not think you like what you have with the other guys in the room?
Right, yeah.
And then it shapes up only to be the best postseason run in college football history. I'm sure you've seen by now what he was wearing.
Okay, let's.
Can I say
this.
White Tony Soprano?
It's a little bit of that, a little bit of Tony Montana too.
Montana, I meant. Sorry.
Yeah. Pacino, a little bit of Scarface. So, I remember I was doing television in Billings, Montana. I was still in college, and this was kind of an in look. This is like, I would say this is like 99.
I mean, he looks like he's dealing kilos out of the back of his Buick.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, he's in a gray suit. He's got a white shirt, but then he's got the collar of the shirt over the jacket. And he's wearing white sneakers.
Got like 4 of the top buttons unbuttoned.
Yeah, he's damn near to the navel is kind of where he's at. I'll be curious if this goes again. There was about 20 years ago when this tried to go. This was a look that was popular, and I'm not that old, Jacob, but there was a time when this was popular in the 70s, like the disco world had this. I'll be interested to see if we see more and more guys doing this. The collar on the outside of the jacket. Look,
I'm open. I like the open collar, like how far he has it down. I do feel like it would have been a lot better if like the collar was on the inside of the jacket for sure.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a debonair look. I don't know but someone must have got a hold of him and say this is what the kids are doing now, and so he's giving it a run.
I don't know that I've seen that.
I haven't either.
Until Will Howard wearing this.
It's been 20 years since I've seen that look. I want to say like Timberlake was big into this type of look in the late 90s, early 2000s. You saw a little bit of this.
I mean, we're throwing out some pretty good names here. You got Pacino back with Scarface as Tony Montana, Justin Timberlake, and now Will Howard. Okay.
Yeah, sexy back Timberlake. So like it's kind of it might all work. Shane Gillis was the host. He's having a year, by the way. He's having himself a bit of a year. Go ahead, Reese.
Did you let your kids watch the opening monologue?
They weren't interested in it. So,
would you have knowing what was said in like those 10 minutes?
I think NBC probably hears much, much worse regularly. The other two, I think it would have gone. Beamsy would have listened. He would have gotten it, but wouldn't have reacted. He would have reacted it as if he didn't, and it would have went all over Bootsy's head. So, yeah. I mean, but this is the thing. I mean, he did this on SNL, too. Like, this is his brand, is to do. He's when you hire him, this is in the brochure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So he had a lot of moments. I mean, the WNBA joke was very, very funny with his buddy's wife. That was quite funny. A lot of it was, honestly. Like, it was a good job. This is what you. I mean, this is like when they hired Norm Macdonald.
This is what you want.
This is what you want,
right?
I mean,
you need a comedian who's going to go and who's going to make a lot of jokes at a lot of people's expense and not spend any time glossing or glazing athletes, I should say, because I think we, as viewers, want to see that. It was wild to me to hear some of the jokes that he told, which included an Epstein one, while ABC was in the bottom right-hand corner of my television screen.
Well, so even more so, though, if you go back when Norm Macdonald did it and Don Ohlmeyer was running and he was buddies with O.J. Simpson because he retold the Simpson joke that Norm told all those years ago about Charles Woodson, and you can keep that unless, everyone's seen the joke by now. Gillis did have a hell of a zinger at that team up north. Let's have a listen.
Ohio State football, who won the national championship but also lost to Michigan. Michigan, who didn't cheat this time. Beat them fair and square. Yeah, are we ever going to hold accountable? Yeah, whatever. They're allowed to cheat. No repercussions.
Well done. He's just like all of us. It's a good job. That was a fun
hilarious. I mean, you saw him throughout the college football playoff.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's a gigantic college football fan, and he's probably thinking what 95% of college football fans out there are thinking.
Is the fastest wit, I think it's on a short list of the fastest wit I've ever seen on live television when he called Saban Alabama Jones.
One of top 5 moments of the playoff.
To have it and to drop Alabama Jones on Saban while Saban is ready to tear you in half for saying that the SEC cheats is pretty good.
Does Gillis have, as a Notre Dame fan, that same kind of hatred for Michigan? I know they haven't played in years.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it's hatred, but I wanted to say, like, for Ohio State fans, there's hatred for Michigan. That's obvious. But there's anger towards what they were able and what they have been up to this point gotten away with, which was the sign-stealing scandal. I think for a lot of college football fans out there, you're in Shane's boat where you're like, yeah, that's really stupid. How are they getting away with? Like, there's no anger behind it. They're all just questioning, like, you're really just going to have all of this evidence and not think anything's wrong? Like, that's weird.
I do think, Jacob, Notre Dame fans hate Michigan, though.
Yeah,
even though they don't play all the
too.
time. It's not like this, but I definitely think that there is. I think that goes back to Michigan not letting them in the Big Ten 120 years ago when they wouldn't let them in because they were Catholic. I think it probably goes back that long that there's a little bit of that. One other thing on the ESPN side of things, nice job out of the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, about 7.2 million people, most watched All-Star telecast, more than the Pro Bowl, more than the NBA by a pretty wide margin. So good job out of them for having a nice little Tuesday in the Midsummer Classic. All right, speaking of college football, we've had a lot of discussion this offseason about noon kicks and big noon and college game day. Well, needless to say, reportedly, there's going to be a big change in your pregame routines. Bigly. Will this work? We'll get to it in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You know that thing you've always been too scared to go for? It seems like you'll never have the guts. Then a cancer diagnosis. And doing that thing becomes way less scary. I would know. I've always wanted a black belt. And today, the only thing standing in my way is a few wooden boards. It's been a lot of hard work and 5 years since I beat cancer at Ohio Health. Bring it on. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, here's what's up on a Thursday edition of the program. Much has been made this entire offseason about Ohio State and carrying the big noon window We know great lengths were taken, it just didn't land, to try to move the Texas game out of noon with the primary landing spot trying and attempting to be Sunday night. Texas, and it's their right, said no. We're going to play it at noon, and you understand why they did, because it'll be easier for them to play at noon than it will be at night at Ohio Stadium. Pretty simple on that side of things. Gives them an atmospheric, less of a disadvantage to play here at noon than it would be at night. So all of those factors are in play, and this is something that we've had to wrestle with. We've had to wrestle with it. Ross has spoken about it pretty directly in terms of the way that this has gone and the fact that Ohio State has to carry this window. So that is the one side of it. The other side of it is what is happening in the television battles between ESPN and Fox. And I do think that this is bleeding over a little bit into this 5+11 or 4-4-2-2-1 whatever model that the Big Ten is trying to get through, because you're answering to different masters. And the Big Ten's master is kind of threefold. It's primarily Fox. They're the primary rights holder in that window, and the Big Ten Network and everything that goes with it. But you also have to answer to NBC, and you've got to answer to CBS to a certain degree, whereas ESPN is much more aligned, and they are just, the SEC is much more aligned, as they are just an ESPN/ABC product through and through, and that's it. So they can have they can be a lot more nibble when it comes to kick times and things of that nature to give the best atmospheres at night and so forth and so on. All of that leads into this next part, which is the fact that what is happening before the games even start. And there is no question that College Game Day gets the type of respect that is that is really reserved for just it and inside the NBA. I do think that those are the only two things that we ever talk about in the pregame world. And they both, it's funny because Game Day is really probably the most effective scene setter in all of television. It's better than anything else. Inside the NBA is known primarily for its post-game, right? I mean, that's when you get all of the candid and all of the stuff that comes with that. Much as ESPN has tried doggedly to find something to be an answer to Inside the NBA, all sorts of different lineup changes, so forth and so on, they get to a point this year where finally they just get Inside the NBA. They just bought it. Turn her out of the NBA, and so now Inside the NBA will be on ESPN. The same thing has happened with the pregame shows. Big Noon Kick has worked doggedly to find a way to cut into College Game Day's monstrous lead in this world. Now, to be fair, Game Day's been doing this for a long, long time, since the early 90s. Big Noon is a relatively recent thing for Fox. Fox was brilliant. Whatever my criticisms are of Ohio State having to play every big game at noon for the rest of our adult lives, and that's the reality of it, by the way. You're going to play at noon. You're not going to play a big game in the shoe at night, probably for at least 5 years.
Just the playoff.
Yeah, unless it's the playoff. That's it. You're not going to play a big one here at night otherwise. Not until this deal's done, which I think goes through 2029. So we're married to it. And they've tried a bunch of ways, and they've cut in. I mean, they are doing a decent number. They benefit tremendously by Ohio State. I actually think Urban is as good as anybody doing this pregame, the pregame gig. I think he's better than Saban as an analyst. He's more direct. He'll answer directly to whatever you're having to say. I think he's great. I think he's incredible on television. The one thing that Game Day has now is McAfee, and now they won't have Corso anymore. Well, Fox had an answer to that. And so the timing of this is all starting to add up. You may or may not have heard that FS1 and all their programming, much of it was blown out earlier this week. It's a bunch of shows that quite honestly, probably that people just aren't watching, that not enough people are watching. So in an effort to fill that void and also compete at the highest level with College Game Day, Big Noon reportedly is going to Barstool. And so Barstool Sports and founder Dave Portnoy, of course, prominent Michigan alum who was involved in the Bryce Underwood bag of cash to get him to sign there, are nearing a deal to do a content sharing deal with Fox. Now, part of the deal is Barstool will receive airtime on FS1 and include Portnoy in appearances on Big Noon. So Portnoy is going to be on Big Noon Kick. There's also some talk of them doing a pre-Big Noon show that would feature Big Cat and some of the other Barstool personalities. The show is set to be on Ohio State's campus for the 12th time in week one, with a good chance Portnoy's in tow when the Buckeyes play Texas. I got to tell you, I think as it goes, whatever you think of them and the whole operation, you cannot argue with the success of it. And I actually think that Portnoy with Urban could be great. I think it could be great because Urban will not mince words. I think Portnoy will go right at him on some stuff. And I think that there will be, my hunch is they'll begrudgingly like each other, is my guess. And I think it could work to a certain degree for Fox Sports. Not to the point where it's going to blow College Game Day out of the water, but I am not at all concerned about the fact that he's a Michigan homer. I think that we already deal with that with Howard. Desmond Howard's the only one on the game day set that has to follow rules of that doesn't have to follow rules of being a homer. Everybody else has to play it down the middle, but he gets to play partisanship all the time. I think we're already dealing with that. I think Portnoy will just be that, and the difference is he'll have Urban there to answer for it. I think the dynamic could work.
Yeah, I understand the agreement. I understand that FS1 basically just gets to rent Barstool programming that's wildly popular on social media. I get that, Portnoy created a behemoth with Barstool Sports. I think Portnoy probably fancies himself the most popular personality at that enterprise. And I certainly understand that.
Most important, probably. Yeah.
This will have me directly tuning away from Big Noon Kick. And I don't think I'm alone with Buckeye fans that say I have no interest in what I'll watch Game Day just because. And I usually, with my game day viewing now, it's just on in the background while I'm doing other things in the morning.
Yeah.
It's now just going to be that instead of Big Noon altogether if Portnoy is going to be part of that.
The only thing that Urban really has to do if Portnoy comes at him with anything, he just needs to say 7-0.
Oh, no, it's a great dynamic in that sense. And that was what Bo was talking about, where Urban's not going to mince words. He's just going to wrap his championship ring on the table and said, I never lost to you guys. In fact, I gave you some of the worst defeats with some of the more talented Michigan teams in the last 20 years. So you've got nothing for me. I've got all of this for you. It'll work in terms of is this entertaining to college football fans like Portnoy will poke. Urban won't take any crap. It'll be an entertaining show if you're into that sort of thing.
I think it'll have entertaining moments. I don't know if it'll be an entertaining show. And that's really where we are with all of these things now. Is you're looking for moments. You're looking for a moment that goes viral. You're looking for a moment that goes crazy on social. I don't know that it's even possible. Like College Game Day, I think it's 3 hours long now.
Yeah, it's 9 to 12.
Is it 9 to 12, Jake?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how can it possibly be good for 3 hours? Like there's the scene setter. The first segment's really great. And then there's usually an emotional thing in there. But to maintain for 3 hours is so difficult to do that you're kind of just looking for the moments. And it comes at a time where ESPN is they lucked into the McAfee thing. Where would College Game Day be with the retirement of Corso if they didn't have McAfee? Where's the fun in that show? And you can like or dislike him, but there's no question that he is very willing and able to be the court jester and to play that part. He's willing to do it. He's professional wrestling. I mean, there's a reason he's on Raw. Like he can do that at the highest level. And if they didn't luck into him, I really don't know what they would have on that show that would be fun. Landing him was critical.
You imagine
because it gives them a path after Corso.
Them trying to put like a mascot head on David Pollock.
Well, and David Pollock was a fine analyst, and I hear him on the college football game that the boys play, but like he wasn't fun. And that's the thing that you got to have in these shows. I mean, this is the other thing that I think this will do for the Big Noon Kick pregame show. They tried to make like Mark Ingram be like a loose cannon, but it's just not necessarily his personality. Well, now Portnoy can say all the reckless stuff.
The one thing I've disliked with both shows, and this is a recent thing, is they'll have musical acts on.
Yeah.
And I have no interest in hearing a Rick Ross or they had DJ Khaled on when they
That's how they get to the 3 hours.
They were at UCF. We don't need this. Just shorten the show or replay some other stuff. I think Fox has Tom Rinaldi. His stuff's good once an hour.
Yeah. Yeah.
I get it. I get what they're all trying to do. It didn't for me.
Yeah, it's kind of a big picture. It's kind of an easy thing for Fox. It's pretty incredible.
So easy for Fox.
It is, because Barstool sold some of their programming to ESPN years ago, and it got canceled relatively quickly. They had the deal, and so now you have this deal where their shows, which they're already doing live, Now you just put them on FS1 and away you go. So that side of it makes a lot of sense, and we'll see what comes of it. This is more and more common. This Fox subleasing out Barstool and its content. I mentioned the Inside the NBA being produced by the Turner folks, but airing on ESPN next year. This is more and more common now. These are things that never would have happened a decade ago, but they're all now happening because we're in the content business, and you need compelling content that drives audience. It's pretty simple on that side of things. So big changes coming to the way that you consume your pregame college football this season. By the way, real quickly, nice job out of the ESPYs honoring Corso last night as well. That was great. I mean, that's pretty iconic, putting on an old guy putting on a mascot head for 30 years and it becoming one of the signature things in all of college football. It's pretty wild. We'll go around the sports world, including some sanity where LeBron James is concerned, coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Do you suffer from leg pain, leg swelling, varicose veins, or leg ulcers? Dr. Barry Zeta and Dr. Joseph Senta at Ohio Vein and Vascular Polaris are pioneers in the vein and vascular field. Dr. Zeta and Dr. Senta can perform minimally invasive procedures that will get you back on track to a pain-free life. Stop living with leg pain and start the process to healthy living with a free healthy leg screening. Go to loveyourveins.com or call 614-426-VEIN. That's 614-426-VEIN or loveyourveins.com.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Hi, I'm Rick Germain, and at Toyota West, we're having our biggest pre-owned sales event of the year. With over 600 new and pre-owned vehicles, Toyota West at I-270 and Georgesville Road has the car you're searching for. And during our Go Forth sales event, every pre-owned vehicle is discounted and comes with a 72-hour exchange policy plus a 3-month warranty. At Toyota West, you don't have to choose between a great experience and a great price. We deliver both. Come see us at the Germain Auto Mall on Georgesville Road or get started today at ToyotaWest.com.
Bourbon, bourbon, bourbon. Cherry Valley Hotel will be hosting a bourbon event called Neat on Saturday, July 26th from 4 to 9 p.m. Explore 15 distilleries, including Woodford, Middle West, and Watershed, along with live music, a cigar bar, classes, and more. For more information, visit cherryvalleyhotel.com.
Hey, it's Timmy Hall. Sometimes dealing with home service contractors can be frustrating. Not like me singing loudly in the shower frustrating. Real life aggravation. They might not return your call. The workmanship is sloppy. Maybe there's just general indifference about helping you. Frustrating sometimes doesn't even describe it. That's why I want to tell you about my new friends at Victor's Home Solutions. Victor's installs the highest quality roofs and windows you can buy, and they'll take those negative experiences you've had and turn them on their head. You'll experience prompt follow-up service, on-time appointments, and their teams are helpful, professional, and courteous. Their service and installation crews always go above and beyond because they know how much your home means to you. They offer a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install, and their windows come fully equipped with lifetime warranties. So call 1-866-VICTORS or go to victors.com. Get your free 21-point roof and window inspection. Experience their 5-star customer service and see why they have a 4.9 Google rating. Again, that's 1-866-VICTORS or victors.com.
Got one of those days that never stops? Try a stop at Speedway and refresh the vibe with 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks. Get 69-cent large Big Gulp drinks at Speedway with Speedy Rewards. The convenience stores of Speedway. Valid through 8/26/25. See app for full terms.
Morning Juice is now on YouTube weekday mornings starting at 6. If you're a fan of Bobby Carpenter, he's ready to attack and dominate. If you're a fan of Jeff Goodoff, drive directly to a hospital. Seriously, The Fan.
This is the next phase in my therapeutic work.
Nicole Kidman returns for the Hulu original 9 Perfect Strangers Season 2.
Breathe in, breathe out.
This is safe?
We take you back to a core trauma. Breathe in, breathe out.
She is manipulating us.
Breathe in, breathe out. While you're resisting.
Is it too late to get a refund? The all-new season of 9 Perfect Strangers is now streaming on Hulu and Disney+. New episodes Wednesdays.
A SoFi personal loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible, overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi personal loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
And we are proudly sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler for over 78 years. A couple on social from two of our regulars, our good folks. This is from Wolfman Matt. College football television is basically like political television at this point. Some straight talkers, but then screaming hacks, overpowering everything. Society is dumber as a result. You might be right. The great Snagglepuss with this. I think the secret ingredient isn't adding Portnoy. It's how Urban will react to Portnoy. I feel like Portnoy will be a loose cannon. The show will come down to how Urban reacts, which could be absolutely remarkable. I think he's right on that. That it's really on Urban. It's on Urban because Leinert's not going to give you much. Ingram's not going to give you much. So this is just going to come down. And Brady could poke back. But this will come down mostly to Urban. Will Urban play along? And I think he will. I think Urban's really good at TV. I think he probably will. I think he'll enjoy himself.
I think there will be a little pro wrestling to it. Well, they'll let him know before the show, like, here's kind of the angle we think Portnoy's going to go, or maybe even they get together and try to figure out the best way to do it. Because I already think that both shows have just too many people on the desk.
Well, yeah.
And so that's one of the things that's tuned me out over the years, along with everything else we discussed in the last segment. But just like, I got 7 people. I want to hear from maybe one of them, 2 of them at most. Like, have a host, have a former football player, have the former coach. I think is all you really need.
So game day right now is Reese, Desmond, Herbie, and McAfee. Right? Now that Corso's got one more game, I think it's just the 4 of them, right? And then the big noon will be Rob Stone, Urban, Brady, Leinert, Ingram, Portnoy.
So, yeah. I can't imagine they'll have Portnoy on for all 2 hours.
I wouldn't think.
But,
yeah. I mean, the guy's worth a couple $100 million. Does he really want to work that hard? Like, go out there and grind?
I don't know. He's a big content guy.
He loves being in front of the camera.
He does, but if you're like, it's one thing to be here for Ohio State, Texas. It's another thing like when their draws like the Iowa State Iowa game, and you're flying into Ames. I mean, that's a little bit of a different thing. It's easy for these games.
He's got to do Big 12 football, and he has no idea who the quarterback is in Colorado. And
like, it's really easy to do. That's why, I mean, I've said this before, but I have so much respect for the folks around game day because they're going to be here. They're here for Texas, Ohio State. It's not on their air. They are directly promoting something that is not on their air. They could have gone to Clemson, LSU. They also could have gone to Florida State, Alabama in Tallahassee, which is where Corso played college, and they didn't. They're coming here because it's the best game. Like, you'd never see Fox do the opposite of that. You'd never see them go to a place where they don't have a game. I think they've only done it once, and it was a Colorado State game when they were in the middle of the Dion that first year with Coach Prime at Colorado. So, they'll go to the best games, and Big Noon doesn't always. They go to their games usually, and that can be tough sledding at times, and especially in September. A couple other things around the sports world. I saw this in The Athletic, finally some sanity in this. Amid the constant speculation recently about his future, both the Lakers and people close to the NBA's all-time leading scorer, LeBron James, expect that he will be with the organization for training camp once the season begins this fall. Well, yeah, no kidding. The Lakers have received no indication from James or his representatives that he would request a trade or ask to be bought out for the final year of his contract. Will be his 8th season with the Lakers, the longest consecutive spent with one organization in his career. Go ahead,
Sam Amico had a report yesterday that there were several teams hoping the Lakers would buy out LeBron's contract. And so, well, yeah, there aren't a lot of teams that wouldn't, just to be able to have that conversation. Because now with LeBron picking up that year, that option that he had, you don't have the option to get LeBron without blowing up your whole team, sending a bunch of assets back to the Los Angeles Lakers. Like, the only way you can get LeBron, and I'm talking as a Cavs fan, you have to blow up the team to afford him right now. If you were to agree to a buyout, maybe have the conversation next season. I don't know. I'm hoping that you just, if you're Cleveland, you stick with what you got.
I think they will. And
I hope
think
so.
They should. Yeah. I think for him, it's this is always the thing I came back to. Like, he just is finishing building this house in the Hollywood Hills. Like, there's one thing that matters more than anything else in Los Angeles. It's bigger than entertainment. It's the Lakers. It's the enduring brand of 40 years in Los Angeles. It's the team. It's the team. And the Dodgers have made some headway into that, but it's the Lakers. And he can't have it. He's going to live the rest of his life in LA. You think he can have it on his resume that he demanded a trade out of the Lakers? Or that he left there kind of crawling out the door? No way, man. No way. No, I think it's more likely that this is his last year playing basketball, that he plays it in L.A. rather than any other scenario. And hopefully he would have some sense. I know this is a big ask, but have some sense to realize that them building around a 29-year-old or whatever Luka is, 28, 29, however old he is, versus a 42-year-old, one makes more sense than the other. Like, you can't continue to build around someone who's in year 23. It just doesn't work. So, I think some sanity is going to roll in here. They're not contenders. It feels like the Lakers want to pay him one more year and then clear those $52 million off the books, and then in 2026, the summer of 26, then you can start building around Luka. That seems to be the read of it.
Yeah, I mean, they could win the NBA in-season tournament again. Like, maybe get another banner they can hang with
the
LeBron.
banner.
Yeah, of course you do, right? It's a championship.
He wants them hung. I don't know that the Lakers do, but
they shouldn't. They shouldn't have enough room for them.
Are we counting those to his resume?
Yes.
The NBA Cup.
Take that, Michael Jordan. You bum.
I'm sure he is.
Never won an in-season tournament.
I did see a funny headline, speaking of the NBA yesterday, of how the Clippers have their new big three. I went,
first of all, stop with that. We got to stop.
No, I swear. It was Clippers have their new big three. And it was Kawhi, James Harden, and Bradley Beal.
It's going to be probable, out, and doubtful. Every game.
That's a good one. That's a good line.
It definitely is. Yeah. Bradley Beal, this is pretty remarkable. Beal generously is giving back $14 million of his $110 million on the final 2 years of his contract for the buyout with the Suns. So he's going to get $95 million cash, and then he's going to play on a 2-year, $11 million deal with the Clippers. Have you guys, and this isn't what we do, but I was listening to a Simmons podcast while I was driving, and him and Russillo were talking about the NBA teams with the worst situations. I had no idea how bad it is in Phoenix. That they basically don't have a first-round pick until 2031.
It is brutal.
I mean,
there's nothing.
Self-inflicted wounds by what they did with Devin Booker. That adds on to it.
It does, but it's Matt Ishbia basically was like Prokhorov.
Yeah.
Where he just thought, just give me all the stars, and there was no thought to, the future planning at all. So that thing's a mess.
And then you trade Durant, and you don't get any firsts in return.
No picks.
Desmond Bain got 4 first-round picks. You're telling me Kevin Durant doesn't get that?
Didn't Rudy Gobert get 5? No, who was it?
He had a ton.
I think it was him, and how much did they give up for Donovan Mitchell?
Might have been 3, I think, from Mitchell.
Yeah. But
Here's
still, that would have been enough.
Uh-huh.
It would have been. Here's the thing, though, with all those first-round picks, what has that netted Utah so far? You have to hit on them, and you're drafting kids who are
they're still developing.
It's so hard.
Hey, they're keeping Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah.
They're just waiting for AJ DeBanza. They're wanting him to keep him in Utah there with BYU.
They were just waiting on Cooper Flagg. And they missed out on that.
Right.
We'll hit we'll open up that mailbag. Second hour of the program coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
An encyclopedic knowledge of sports and other random things you may or may not care about.
I think I found my mentor.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan.
Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life. And fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Football in July, outstanding, and it's kicking off at the Pro Football Hall of Fame July 31st in Football Heaven in Canton, Ohio. And you can still grab tickets for the Hall of Fame game between the Lions and the Chargers. And then on August 2nd, 4 of the greatest of all time get immortalized in bronze at the Class of 25 enshrinement. And cap off the weekend Sunday with a concert for legends featuring Nickelback with special guest Mitchell Tenpenny. It's a gold jacket weekend. Visit ProFootballHof.com to learn more and get your tickets.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Matty Ice here from McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. Do you need a vehicle with more room for the family vacation this summer? Then the Chevy Traverse is for you. This month at McDaniel GM Superstore, you can get up to $3,500 off MSRP on a 2025 Traverse for qualified buyers. McDaniel has been making a difference since 1916. They're just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
This is This Date in Reds Baseball with team historian Greg Rhodes.
On this date, this July 17th, back in 1974, Bob Gibson, the great St. Louis pitcher, made history with his 3,000th strikeout. And why, you might ask, is a Bob Gibson highlight in a Reds history segment? Well, his 3,000th strikeout came against Reds center fielder Cesar Geronimo. Geronimo, better remembered for his glove than his bat, struck out in the second inning to give Gibson the milestone. And for Geronimo, he must have liked the notoriety, because 6 years later, batting against Nolan Ryan, he also became Ryan's 3,000 strikeout victim. What are the odds? Cesar Geronimo, part of a fluke of baseball history, this July 17th, 1974, this date in Reds baseball.
This Date in Reds Baseball is brought to you by the Cincinnati Reds Hall of Fame and Museum, presented by Dinsmore. Celebrating greatness, preserving history, providing inspiration.
Colin, Man, and Timmy here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Timmy?
Yeah, we got a lot of fun things going on this month, like karaoke.
And crab legs.
No, not yet. Live bands. We've got food trucks in the outdoor valet area.
Crab legs.
Oh, not yet. On select weekend days throughout the summer. Okay, now crab legs.
And all you can eat crab legs at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Join Penn Play Rewards and play up to $500 on us. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, crab legs.
Oh, yeah, we love crab legs.
Time for crab legs?
Okay, crab legs.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Adam Scheffler here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reese, sir. It's the afternoon over in Northern Ireland as the 135th British Open rolls along at Royal Portrush. 4 under is the score to beat that's shared by 3 golfers. Jacob Olesen and Hao Tong Lee are in the clubhouse. Matt Fitzpatrick's 4 under through 17. World number 1 Scotty Scheffler's at 1 under, as is John Rahm and Phil Mickelson. Defending champ Xander Schauffele is even through 12. Rory McIlroy begins his first round in about 10 minutes. In soccer, the 5-match unbeaten streak for the Columbus Crew came to an end last night in the Music City. Nashville SC blanked the Black and Gold 3-0. The Crew will host DC United Saturday night at 7:30. And Ohio State men's hoops will play Virginia in a non-conference game February 14th. That'll be played at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Swimming in debt with rates as low as 8.99% APR. Save your summer with a debt consolidation loan. Visit bmifcu.org/consolidate.
Find us on YouTube. Search WBNS Radio and you can see what Bo looks like. But only if you subscribe. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a Thursday. Doug Lesmerises coming up in 28 minutes. Time now to open up that mailbag. Hit it, fellas.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more. And you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in.
Bishop and Friends present emails.
Another full mailbag this week. Let's start with William. The subject is ROI. You write, what's your definition of the above? You keep referring to it as if it is irrelevant to donor contributions. Commercials are a waste of time. No interest in purchasing something because a 19, 20-year-old suggests I do. If you were donating $1 million to a top-notch basketball player, what would be your ROI expectations with this program in such disarray? Certainly not a monetary ROI for basketball or even football for that matter these days. Just a vanity thing is all it amounts to, is the reality of it all. It is. It is a vanity thing. It's absolutely that. The thing with so 2 things on this. Number one, James and I talked about this years ago, that the only way that this would slow down is if the big money boosters who write the big checks get tired of limiting results back in ROI and not get so what is success for a donor who writes a big check for a recruit? What is success? I guess that's in the eye of the donor, right? How they would define it. The one thing that I think makes this really and the reason I bring this up a lot is this is where we are now in the sport. You pay big money for a player, he goes to Ohio State. If he transfers out after spring, there's no penalty to him and you don't get your money back. That would be a negative example of what did I just pay for? Positively, I guess it's in the eye of the booster and it's in the eye of the beholder. If you are somebody who, watching last year, said, man, you see Will Howard to Jeremiah Smith, I contributed to that. Is that positive ROI? Is that vanity? Yeah, probably. If you were somebody who gave big money for Quinn Ewers at Texas for 3 years, are you satisfied with what you got out of that? It's never going to be tangible. There's only one team that gets to win it. So this is why this is such a nebulous thing. It's like it's really in the eye of the beholder. The one thing I know about ultra successful people is they don't like giving away money for nothing. So they typically want results from it. And I think that's the tricky one. Would the folks at Duke last year feel like they got their money out of Cooper Flagg?
I think absolutely.
Probably. They didn't win it, but they were the center of the sport for the whole season, right?
Yeah, I know Duke, the standard is winning a national championship. Now they haven't in a decade, but I mean, they got to the Final Four. That team was one of the greatest we've seen in the Ken Pom era. I think it definitely was worth the money.
I mean, for football, it just varies, and it varies year to year. I mean, with Cody Campbell and him peacocking around Big 12 media days, what does a positive return on his, $5.1 million investment in that offensive tackle, what's that net in year one, where the guy won't even see the field likely? Or you got to be patient on that. Can you tell a billionaire to be patient?
No, and for him, it's about for them. It was about perception. It was about watch us get a 5-star. I think that's what it was about.
I think you're right.
I mean, a fascinating one this year is going to be Darren Peterson.
Well, we talked about it earlier in the week with Gray Osabor at Washington. Got $2 million to play out there. And if you're giving that kind of money to somebody, or like Coleman Hawkins went to Kansas State for, I think, that kind of money too. And both teams missed the tournament. I think now Washington and Kansas State, they're not your typical blue blood college basketball programs. But if you are throwing out that money, you would at least expect a tournament appearance.
Yeah, it's just really program by program, investor by investor, donor by donor. How do you view success? That's why it's such a fascinating part of it. This one for Mike. The subject is drive to Baltimore. He writes, Bo, I've driven to Baltimore about 60 times. His best route is 70, 79 south, 68, 70. Almost always less than 7 hours. You will be cured of the Pennsylvania Turnpike forever. Keep up the good work. Well, that would be a positive. Right now, I don't have any beef with the Pennsylvania Turnpike. But every time I'm on it, and I've been on it twice this summer, as I'm in the middle of it, I think to myself, my God, if there's a car accident, I'm done. We're done for 6 hours. There's no way we're moving it. By the way, that happened last night on 71, right? Didn't we have a huge dust up just north of town on 71 that set everything back for hours? I think multiple car wrecks last night on 71. Be careful out there heading north.
Did you go through Oakmont when you were on the Turnpike?
You drive right through it.
Yeah.
You drive. It's the craziest damn thing, bud. If you haven't, it's nuts.
They kept talking about it all U.S. Open.
It's crazy. One of the most prestigious golf courses on the planet, they allowed them to drive a road right through it. It's nuts. Now you can't. The road is so far low that you can't really see the course.
Yeah.
You just kind of see welcome fans, so it's kind of below. But I would imagine it's a constant hum. There's no way that they could distract from that. This one from the great Nick. The subject is Mad Men song. Uncle Bo, hope all is well. So, I'm kind of hard of hearing. So when I watch TV, I have subtitles on. I'm sitting here watching Mad Men. A new episode comes on, and subtitles give the name of the intro of the theme song and who the musician is. To my shock, I see RJD2 is the band that made the song. And I say to myself, wait, that was one of my best friend's favorite musicians back in 97. So I used the Google machine to search it, and no blank, RJD2 was a musician born in Eugene, Oregon, but started making music in Columbus in 1993. How about that?
Heard of it all.
How about that? That's pretty great. How about that?
He did the Mad Men theme?
Yeah, they did the Mad Men theme. He says, and then he goes on to tell the story. My roommate worked for Clear Channel in 07. All the times he spoke of Mad Men, all the sound bites you've played. It didn't hit me until I started rewatching it months ago that you helped turn him onto it. And yet the intro song was created by a Columbus musician that one of my childhood best friends introduced me to back in 1997. God is so damn fly. Be good, Nick. Yeah, that's cool.
Hand up. I don't know who that is.
Have you seen Mad Men?
Nope.
You should watch that. Yeah. Especially for what we do.
Yeah, I need to get into movies. I've learned that since I've started here.
Well, this is a show. This is
shows,
it's a show. It's a show, not a movie. But it's really, I think, for what we do, I think it's really good. It would be very good. That's where the First Friday comes from. Is from Mad Men.
I think it's on Hulu.
It might be now. It used to be on AMC, and I rewatched it during the pandemic. My wife and I did, and I've never been able to cancel AMC. I still get billed for it, and it's $5 a month, and I'm just okay. I tried everything. I was online. I called people. I couldn't get anybody to cancel it. I've told the credit card, please stop paying this. It's they just won't let me. They want me to have Breaking Bad, and they want me to have Mad Men, I guess.
Again, I think all of the AMC catalog, even their new stuff, is Hulu now.
Okay.
That's where I did Shogun. So I tried The Old Man.
Well, that's FX.
Oh, you're right.
Shogun and yeah, they are. Why
do I think those are the same thing?
Well, they have a lot of similar themes, I think. I think it's fair. This one from Bobby, IndyCar versus Formula One. Bo and the boys, last week you and the great Tim May discussed what IndyCar needs to do to get to that level F1 has, and I thought I'd throw my 2 cents in. I've watched every F1 race for the past 6 years and watched most of the IndyCar races on Fox this year. The biggest difference I see is the way that Fox treats the races. F1 treats it as an event, and they are broadcasting versus a television show. There's no commercials. They do an excellent job of weaving in storylines throughout the race. Let the product breathe. Fox seems to treat an IndyCar race the same as a college football broadcast or a NASCAR race. There's a typical Fox long commercial break, slightly over-the-top graphics. This makes it easy to switch away when the commercial comes on. It makes it, and if you stay, it makes it hard to get into the flow of watching the race. Fox does an excellent job of marketing the races, so I'm sure they'll get more eyeballs at the start, but it's going to be hard to keep them. Long story short, dear Fox, it's a motor race. Act accordingly. We love the show. Thanks for being my daily highlight. Well, thank you for listening. I do think F1's presentation is flawless. I mean, it's the way they do it, the way they broadcast it, the way you hear the drivers, what they do pre-race, all of it. And it was a stroke of brilliance to do this Brad Pitt movie. Have you guys seen it?
I have not. I think it's available on Apple Plus.
Yeah, me neither.
Already?
I think so.
No, you should go in the theater. Because it's the same guy. I know you didn't see Top Gun Maverick, but it's the same guy who did it. And the action stuff is stunning. Truly. It's too long. It shouldn't be 2:35. It should be 2 hours.
No movie should be 2:35.
Yeah, it's too long. But it's really good. And it is all so authentic to F1. Like all of it.
Well, they had that and the Netflix series that got a lot of people interested during the pandemic. I think what ESPN did was kind of take the longtime Sky Sports or BBC broadcast and just go that route. Yeah. And he's absolutely right. It makes for a much better presentation because you know what's going on throughout the entirety of it. And their broadcasters do such a great job of explaining everything to even the dumbest people like me.
Yeah, it's good. This one from Fred, Glacier Trip. Hi, Bo. Very much enjoy the show. I'm a longtime listener. 50th anniversary. Our daughters and their families are taking us to Glacier National Park in August. We're spending 2 nights at Under the Canvas in the park and then renting a house for a few days near Big Fork on Flathead Lake. That's going to be unbelievable. Could you share your local knowledge about any out-of-the-way places you would recommend we visit? My wife and I are going to stay an extra day. Do you have a recommendation on somewhere where we could try to book on Sunday night, August 10th? We fly back to CMH through FCA on that Monday. Hope your family is doing well. It's great that you share these stories with them on the receiving end, and I hope that this request is not too inconvenient. Thanks for all you do, and the show makes my day better. Well, Fred, you're welcome, and thank you for taking the time and being loyal. Look, you got to go to Many Glacier when you're in Glacier. Make sure you get the reservations for that. You got to do Going to the Sun Highway when you're in Glacier. Do both of those things. You're in Big Fork, which is heaven. If you're a golfer, the first Jack Nicklaus course in Montana is there. It's called Eagle Bend. It's awesome. Rent a pontoon boat when you go out on Flathead Lake. That is spectacular. Place to stay the last day. So he's flying out of Kalispell. You could stay at the lodge at Whitefish that last day if you wanted to. That's a cool place right on Whitefish Lake. That'd be a good one to do. You're going to crush it. And you're going to whitewater raft. You're going to fish. You're going to do all the things that you want. Hopefully you'll see a little bit of wildlife. Finally, last one. This is from our buddy Greg, who is a regular contributor to our Thursday segment. When the cat is away, the mice will play. Anytime I see this subject, Reese, I'm going, what did you two do?
Nothing.
Good morning, fellas. During the 4th of July week, Reeser and Bake had the show off the rails with lots of baseball talk.
Snitch.
He goes, actually enjoyed the rants about the Guardians playing horrible because I'm a White Sox fan, but the cherry on top of the ice cream sundae was when I sent in an email asking for a top cheeseburger recommendation around the Cincinnati area. Reeser and Baker responded with a high recommendation of taking the family to Hooters.
That was Baker. I said Montgomery Inn.
You did.
I even put that in like the show prep for the next week, thinking you would snag that before Baker went to Florida. Because, I think he said like his son is a cheeseburger connoisseur, and he asked for a location in Cincinnati. And I don't know of cheeseburger locations, but if you're going on vacation, Montgomery Inn overlooking the river, which I think has Refrigerator Perry's jockstrap, is a wonderful spot to go. And Baker said Hooters and Mason.
I can attest to this. It is true.
It was incredible.
This response spilled over to Rothman and Ice. We got the same reaction that my wife said, absolutely not. My lovely wife isn't opposed to going to Hooters, with the fact that Hooters cheeseburger is average at best. Next weekend, I'll be making a trip to Columbus for the volleyball camp at Ohio State. Where's the best cheeseburger in Columbus? What would be your vote on that as Columbus natives?
Honestly, I think Grandview Cafe and Hadley's do a really good smash cheeseburger. Yeah. So if you're looking to not have to wait for one, I mean, Thurman's is probably what everybody else is going to tell you, but there's a chance you're waiting, especially if it's a volleyball tournament. It's going to have a lot of people.
The NBC loves a cheeseburger, and he loves the North Star one. Like, crushes the North Star one. So, yeah, there's some good ones out there, Greg, and hopefully that gets you back in our good graces, my friend. We'll do a little higher, lower up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the girthiest radio station in the history of radio. Uncomfortably girthy. This promo is uncomfortable. The Fan, Ohio's girth destination.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Hear that? That's the sound of freedom. This July, declare your independence on the open road during RCD RV's Declare Your Independence sale, running July 5th through the 19th, offering all-American savings on all in-stock motorhomes, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Wave goodbye to ordinary vacations and say hello to adventure. Stop by any of our locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online anytime at rcdrv.com. Celebrate the red, white, and blue with unbeatable savings at RCD RV. RCD RV. Freedom starts on the open road.
Bourbon, bourbon, bourbon. Cherry Valley Hotel will be hosting a bourbon event called Neat on Saturday, July 26th from 4 to 9 p.m. Explore 15 distilleries, including Woodford, Middle West, and Watershed, along with live music, a cigar bar, classes, and more. For more information, visit cherryvalleyhotel.com.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place.
One of my favorite things, Wilson, is the look on people's faces when they see the end price for Pella windows.
Yeah, I'm always hearing, does it look like I'm wearing my money britches?
More like, I can't believe we get the Pella look and quality at these prices.
Oh, you went the other way with that. You're hearing good things. Oh, this is awkward.
Get the window that homeowners rated the leading window brand in Columbus at PellaColumbus.com.
The savings are on at Coughlin Ford. Lease a new 25 Ford Escape or Bronco Sport. Just $399 a month with zero down. New 25 F-150 or Lightning Flash. Only $499 a month with zero down. At all 4 Coughlin Ford locations, including our newest in Marysville. Visit CoughlinFord.com.
48-month lease. All factory rebates to dealer. All prior sales excluded. In-stock units only. 7,500 miles per year. 25 cents per mile over. Excludes $250 dock fee. $395 disposition fee at lease end. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 9/2/25.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Attack and dominate. Morning Juice is on YouTube and 10 TV Plus.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Join Bobby Carpenter and Tito weekdays starting at 6 or watch on demand. More Bobby, less commercials. The Fan.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing.
Ohio's public school educators are the heart of our communities, and they are passionate about delivering the great public education every child deserves. As I begin my term as Ohio Education Association President, I'm honored to serve these dedicated professionals as we work together to ensure our students have what they need to succeed.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, although not as widespread as yesterday. Otherwise, skies will be partly sunny with our highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, lows down into the 60s overnight with mostly cloudy skies and a stray chance of showers and storms. And then as we go into your Friday, yet again, chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with our temperatures in the 80s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
We're Your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The best hair on the air. You are listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, this is pretty cool. We got 2 tickets to NEAT, a bourbon event at Cherry Valley Hotel in Newark on Saturday, July 26. Explore 15 distilleries, including Woodford, Middle West, Watershed, along with live music, a cigar bar, classes, and more. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to cherryvalleyhotel.com for more. We're giving 2 tickets away right now at 821-9710. Let's go fourth caller, Jacob, at 821-9710. Going to scoop up those 2 tickets to NEAT, a bourbon event at Cherry Valley Hotel in Newark on Saturday, July 26th. All right, time for a little higher or lower. Hit it, Reese.
Bishop and Friends present Higher or Lower.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling today at 614-232-2222 or visit online at thewaterworks.com.
Oh, whoops. This is the wrong conference. Big Ten owns this music, but we're going to play it anyway in honor of today's Higher or Lower, coming to us from the USA Today that has their SEC preseason rankings poll.
All right.
I think we're a couple hours out from the media giving their official preseason rankings for the Southeastern Conference, but because it is Media Days season, these are everywhere. But from USA Today, they've ranked all 16 SEC teams.
Real quick before you get into this, do you think that there will ever be a game, because CBS is in the 3:30 window, will there ever be a game that is worthy of this music in the 3:30 window?
I don't see it. USC's got to come back in a big way.
Yeah. You need USC or Oregon. It's an astute observation out of you. You need a West Coast power matchup, because those can't be on Big Noon, and you need it to be at this. You need it to be one of those ones where they took it before NBC could take it and put it in prime time.
So that's the thing. I don't think Oregon's ever going to find itself in that slot because the Ducks are always going to be desirable. But you would have to get a late October, early November USC. This could be good. This could be not good. But USC being undefeated up to that point to surprise everybody.
Yeah.
Then I think a matchup with maybe an Oregon or a Washington that just kind of got put by the wayside, that hits CBS right at the right spot.
Was USC Penn State in 3:30 last year?
That sounds right.
It might have been.
Because I could see
Coliseum. That might have been.
But we'll start with the SEC. Yeah,
Go ahead.
16 teams for the Southeastern Conference. We'll start with number 1, Texas. Number 2, Georgia. Number 3, Alabama. Number 4, LSU. Higher or lower for the Tigers at 4?
If it were somebody other than Brian Kelly coaching LSU, and by the way, I think Brian's a really good coach, how is LSU not higher? I mean, we had him as 20 most interesting. They've got, in some people's eyes, the most accomplished, best quarterback returning. It's usually between him and Klubnik and Aller when you talk about Nussmeier. They've got to replace some guys up front, but they're LSU. They got a ton of talent on defense. Perkins back on defense. Great weapons. How is LSU 4th? How are they 4th? Bama's starting over. We're going to be Ty Simpson. Well, we're going to do Alabama here in 11 o'clock hour on 20 Most Interesting. My hunch is will be Ty Simpson there. Georgia's going Gunnar Stockton. We saw that. We know what that looks like. And then the Arch Manning hype machine run amok at Texas. So, to me, it feels like LSU should be a little higher than where they are. And I do think there's what I've learned doing these. We obviously in timing out with SEC Media Days, we've done a lot of all SEC teams this week. Like what I think you've learned here, and you're doing Texas tomorrow, Reese, I believe.
Correct.
Yeah, what I think we've learned here is, to me at least, there's a big chasm between 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. 5 feels like a ways back. So I think that those 4 teams, those 4 teams to the playoff, and then a pretty big dip to get to the team they have at 5, which I don't think will be there at all.
Now, the Florida Gators are at 5, the Oklahoma Sooners at 6, the Tennessee Volunteers at 7, Ole Miss is 8. Higher or lower for the Rebels at 8?
So I think Florida's got to come back. Ole Miss's schedule is really doable. It's not crazy at all. There's a couple of potholes there, but new quarterback, but certainly could be a 9-3 team, which would be better than 8th in the SEC. I think Tennessee takes a big step back with all of their losses and the changes at quarterback. I've been bullish on Oklahoma. I have been. And I think Oklahoma, I know there's a lot of pressure on Venables, but I think Oklahoma could bounce back a little bit in that league. So I would take Florida. You could almost I would put Oklahoma up. There's a team coming that I would put behind Oklahoma. And then I would take Florida behind Ole Miss. And I think Tennessee's going to come back. So I would have and they have A&M 9. I would have Ole Miss and A&M up, and I'd have Florida behind them. I think Florida, to me, feels like the paper tiger.
So you talked about the Aggies at 9, at 10, Missouri, at 11, South Carolina, 12, Auburn, 13, Vanderbilt. Higher or lower for the Commodores at 13.
Well, we got dear friends who are Vanderbilt alum. I know that Diego Pavia is saying we're winning a national title at Vanderbilt. Let's settle down a little bit on that, buddy, but I like how boisterous he is on it. I guess the one that I'm surprised about is South Carolina at 11. I mean, everybody's on Lenora Sellers. Are they really going to be the 11th best team in the SEC? I haven't looked at the schedule to see how it all kind of stacks out, but to me, I think they look like they're being a little bit disrespected here. You want to talk about pressure? We talked about Venables. How about Hugh Freeze at Auburn? I mean, he's at podiums talking about defending how much he plays golf with his wife. I mean, that's where they're at. Our old buddy Go Hogs, he's sitting there deep into the bowels of the SEC with Arkansas. I think that South Carolina probably ought to move up based on their overall talent. I think Vandy may be up a little. I'm not as bullish on. Again, I think Tennessee and Florida are way too high on this, and then it's kind of a mess from that point on. Who stays healthy?
Yeah, we'll just wrap it real quick. 14 Arkansas, 15 Kentucky, 16 Mississippi State.
Mississippi State to go Dan Mullen in that incredible run, and then to stumble into the Pirate, and God rest his soul. Like, they had a niche there, and the idea that team was ranked number 1 in the country the first year of the college football playoff and how far it's fallen is pretty wild. I also think Mark Stoops at Kentucky, he had his window, and it's going to be tough sledding for him going forward. So I think those are probably pretty appropriate, the end of that. I just think they have Florida and Tennessee way too high. All right, we'll do a little Kings of the North with our good buddy Doug Lesmerises coming up in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Make back to school a good deal better with school supplies and essentials for $1 or less at Meijer. Stock up on 24-count Crayola crayons and Elmer's 4-ounce washable school glue for 50 cents each. Crayola 10-count markers for $1. And Meijer 70-sheet notebooks are 45 cents each. Heading back to school with what you need to succeed. That's the good life at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
For over 78 years, our family's been part of your love stories. At Diamond Seller, we offer bigger diamonds, better prices, and timeless designs for every chapter of your life. From your first yes to your forever I do, trust the jeweler who knows diamonds best. Visit Diamond Seller today.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Choose from payments as low as $99 a month or 12 months with no payments and no interest, plus a free in-home window and energy assessment. Restrictions apply. Give them a call. 614-502-5220.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
Well, that rejoin certainly fits our guest right now, the great Doug Maurice, Kings of the North, joining on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. If you could do a coach swap for one Northern program, so you could take this exact roster, everything that's set up, the schedule, all of it, and you could just grab a coach from another program or even one that maybe was recently retired and put him in charge of that operation, and you'd feel better about it, what would that answer be?
Oh, man. Kirby Smart at Iowa? I don't know. That
would be a scene, man.
Because then it'd be
unbelievable.
They don't have any fast cars in Iowa City, so everything would be sorted out. It's one of those things. I feel like the Big Ten often has defense first programs, right?
Yeah.
And Ohio State sometimes is a defense first program. Oftentimes is. But I feel like their offense usually isn't quite good enough, like Iowa as the example, to get over the top. Whereas Kirby has built a national power with the defense first program. Saban did the same thing. So if you could bring a little bit of that north, because you're fighting a little bit of an uphill battle with skill position guys sometimes. We just did a big show about quarterback recruiting on Wednesday. The North still is not grabbing quite as many quarterbacks as you would like. The North is losing a lot of their own Northern quarterbacks are getting stolen by Southern teams right now. So you bring a defensive-minded head coach, but maybe who has a little more oomph offensively, and then you have a national title contender in the Midwest.
What conclusion did you draw from why that is happening, the quarterback thing?
Yeah, I don't know, because there's the 9 highest-rated Northern quarterbacks in the class of 2026. Only 2 are committed north. And, the best, there's a Chicago kid who's going to USC, right? And it's what? To Lincoln Riley, right? I know USC has a great class, but, that's what you want to do right now? There's a Pennsylvania kid who's going to Auburn. There's another Pennsylvania kid who's going to Missouri. And it's why is that happening? And we're trying to figure out, is there still a perception bias? Because, to me, if you're a kid in Pennsylvania and maybe you're not going to Penn State, but to be if I want to succeed at the highest level, I got to go to Auburn. It's what are we talking about? You're going to Auburn? Yeah. Why isn't that kid going to Syracuse or Pitt or Michigan State or Maryland or Indiana or Wisconsin, right? And I don't – again, a lot of this, Bo, and we have a special series coming out on KOTN that's about this. The reality of Northern football is rising, but I'm not sure the perception is, right? And that applies to 17-year-olds. I wonder how many 17-year-olds still think, man, if I want to play at the highest level, I got to go to the SEC, because I don't think that's true anymore, but I wonder if they still think it, some of them.
I think that the issue is with the North as a whole. I definitely, obviously, Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, Penn State to a certain extent, those, Oregon, absolutely. Those programs kind of they're having to carry the weight for some bad baggage is what it amounts to. But I also, one other thing that it just could be this simple. And I've got buddies who, and I know your daughters are in the college world and all of those things. But one thing that I noticed, a buddy of mine had a daughter just graduate, and she's going to Clemson. And I said, and that was her first choice. And I said, wow, Clemson. When I was in the South, Florida State and Clemson, kids would go to Florida State over Clemson. And it wasn't anyone was going, oh, I can't wait to get to Clemson. But now all these kids are. It might just be weather, Doug. It might just be.
It is.
It might just be that if you're a kid playing quarterback in Pennsylvania and you've dealt with the weather, or you're a kid playing quarterback in Chicago, and you go on a visit to Auburn or to USC in November, and you go, oh, 72, sunny. This is nice. It might just be that.
You're speaking our language on that. It is the obvious, but yet I think sometimes under-discussed thing about this. The South just has an edge with that.
Yes.
In recruiting, does weather help or hurt? And when you're going somewhere, you're visiting somewhere in November, Like, is it beautiful or are you in a parka? And I do think there's a reality to that, but then you have to sell what you got, which is, hey, by the way, like, you know, did you watch the NFL playoffs? Like, it's pretty cold in Buffalo. If you want to do that, you know, you're going to be there eventually. Why not get some training now and come north, right? And sell the other things you have. But I do think there's part of that, but then you just got to work harder and smarter. I think, and Bill Landis, my great partner, obviously, did all the work on this. The Wednesday show, I think in this 2026 Ohio recruiting class, I think the top 20 guys, I think Ohio State has 7. And then of the other 13, there's a lot going south. And again, it's that second tier. Why aren't Illinois and Michigan State? Mark D'Antonio built an 11-win program off like the second tier kids in Ohio. But I just think there's still more coaches in the North. Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, Cincinnati's got to get it going this way because, you know, like right now, Ohio State's obviously having a fine recruiting class. They just had the flip yesterday. They're not killing it. You know, Michigan's really good right now. Notre Dame's really good right now. But it's that second group that when a kid goes to Kentucky instead of Cincinnati or Indiana or Wisconsin or Iowa from the Midwest, I can't understand that. What does Kentucky offer you that those great Big Ten programs don't? And I just think you got to sell it better. Yeah, that was the brilliance of Stoops and everything that he did. And he basically, when D'Antoni went out, then he went in there and then he built that program on that. You know, it's a fascinating thing. It's worth noting that this was one of the things that Pantoni and Urban did when they first got here. And you remember the Nike ad of Ohio State in the snow, right? They built everything kind of around it. And their thing was like, hey, if you're going to play in the North Atlantic in the NFL, come practice in the North Atlantic in college. We'll prepare you to play in the cold weather. Like, it's a smart thing to do. Ohio State's always been on the cutting edge of that. You mentioned Fickell. I still cannot believe he took the job. It's even more odd the way that it's gone. Is there pressure on him at Wisconsin? Yeah. Is Wisconsin a place that applies pressure? So we did like a hot seat thing a couple weeks ago, and I think there's 3 ways that a coach gets fired. One is like you used to have it and you kind of lost it. One is it's actually not you, it's us. We kind of just need a change. Sure. And the other is this was a mistake and we're going to get out of this. And I liked first blush, what is that? Second blush, it's like, well, Luke is very big about cultural fit, and Wisconsin fits him. He's not going to go be if he went to LSU or Florida State or Ole Miss, I would have been like, what is happening? But he fits Wisconsin. But they could be in the we're sorry this didn't work out zone. And just get out of that, right? Jim Leonard, the guy who was the interim when Paul Chryst got fired, he's still floating around the NFL, right? He's like a DC that doesn't. If you just want to get back to that, he tried the offensive revolution for 2 years. Now they're going back to a Wisconsin style of football. But if that doesn't work, I don't know. Their schedule's nuts. So I do think he's on the hot seat because we tried to define hot seat is if you have a bad year, you're going to get fired. If Wisconsin's 4-8, it's not about whether he deserves to be fired. But if Wisconsin's 4-8, is Luke Fickell going to get fired? My guess would be yes. That's just a guess. But again, it doesn't mean he's a bad coach, but it's a survival year. Billy Edwards, the transfer from Maryland, is a veteran quarterback. They have to survive. If they can go 6-6, make a bowl, survive, there's a future on the other side. There really is. Because they brought in 2 quarterbacks. They brought in Danny O'Neal, who started as a true freshman at San Diego State last year, and Billy Edwards. And what happened in Luke's first 2 years is the starting quarterback got hurt both years, and the backup quarterback wasn't good enough, and it torpedoed this season. So they got a veteran starter and a good backup. If they can go 6-6 and survive, I think there's an other side that Luke Fickell can get to. But I'm not sure he's going to have the chance to get to it if they go 4-8, and their schedule is nuts, including going to Bama. Yeah. Is there who is the hottest seat? Who did you conclude was the hottest seat up here in terms of if it doesn't go well, you're fired? I think there's 4 in the North that we would put on that of our 28 teams. Luke is one. I think Scott Satterfield at Cincinnati is another. And that, again, is just being realistic. If they have a bad year, would he get fired? I think if they go 4-8, I think if they're not competitive in the Big 12, he's been a successful coach before, but it maybe is like this is not a fit. And when we talk about recruiting, don't you think they could go get a coach who could scoop up the second-tier Ohio kids at Cincinnati Don't we know some people who maybe could do that? Don't we know some, right? So, like, do you want to go that way? I think Mike Loxley at Maryland is possibly that. I think he's done a good job there. But there's a new AD there. I think they really are worried about making money. And if there's not energy around the Maryland program, I think he's there. And then David Braun at Northwestern did a good job in year one, brought in under difficult circumstances. They're opening a new stadium next year. If Northwestern's really bad this year, I think they might want energy for the new stadium, and that could mean a new coach. So I think 4 of the 28 are in that range. But the point is, I think the 24 of the 28 are, like, pretty stinking good. There's a lot better depth of Northern college coaches than there was 10 years ago.
There's no doubt. No. I mean, you won the last 2 national titles. Yeah, you're in a good spot.
There's real
you're
dudes.
in a good spot. Yeah,
there's
there
real
is.
dudes.
All right, buddy. You're a real dude. Thanks for your time, as always.
Thanks, brother. I'll see you.
All right, there he goes. Doug Lesmerises, Kings of the North with Bill Landis on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We do Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on the Fan.
We used to have a billboard with our host's face on it, but only ugly people work here now.
You mama say you ugly, hey!
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Now's a great time to save on cherries. Fresh picked red cherries are on sale for only $2.99 a pound with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Irish Adventure awaits at the Dublin Irish Festival August 1st through 3rd in Dublin, Ohio. Voted 2025 USA Today Best Cultural Festival in the nation. This year promises 3 incredible days of Irish music, dance, food and fun. Enjoy unique Irish experiences as you explore one of the top festivals in the US, drawing over 90,000 guests to Dublin, Ohio each year. Get your tickets at dublinirishfestival.org before July 20 to save.
Get cash for clunkers during the Honda Summer Event at Lindsay Honda.
Listen up, Columbus. Cash for clunkers is big money towards your next ride.
Up to $3,500 minimum for your trade.
Use it for the down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash.
Lease a new 2025 HR-V two-wheel drive LX or 2026 Civic four-door LX for just $299 a month. 0 cash down. Just bring us your clunker. Shop Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store now. For details, visit lindsayhonda.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here. Hear that? That's the sound of freedom. This July, declare your independence on the open road during RCD RV's Declare Your Independence sale, running July 5th through the 19th, offering all-American savings on all in-stock motorhomes, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. Wave goodbye to ordinary vacations and say hello to adventure. Stop by any of our locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala, or shop online anytime at rcdrv.com. Celebrate the red, white, and blue with unbeatable savings at RCD RV. RCD RV. Freedom starts on the open road.
Buckeye football training camp is coming. Catch live editions of Morning Juice, T-Bone, and Tybus and Bishop and Friends starting July 31st. They'll be close enough to smell the jock straps. Live on the Fan and YouTube. Yay football.
It's been a great run. Care Heating and Cooling has achieved goals I could only imagine 30 years ago. But now it's time for the next generation to take over. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, I remember you saying that a family business should reflect family values, that a customer deserves to be treated with kindness and compassion.
And those values will never change.
The reputation you built for being fair and honest is our greatest asset.
In fact, in 2024, CARE was awarded a BBB Torch Award for Ethics and named the Lennox Partner of the Year.
You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind. It's an honor to continue serving Central Ohio as a locally owned, family-run business.
So, whether you need a tune-up, repair, or just honest advice, CARE is here for you.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
Want to know anything about the fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Connect with the show on X at 971BFS. Jump in our YouTube chat or just send a raven. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Celebrate the red, white, and blue with unbeatable savings with my friends at RCD RV this July. Declare your independence on the open road during RCD RV's Declare Your Independence sale running July 5th through the 19th. We're offering all-American savings on all in-stock motorhomes, fifth wheels, travel trailers. Wave goodbye to ordinary vacations. Say hello to adventure. Stop by any of our locations, Delaware, Heath, and Pataskala. Shop online anytime at rcdrv.com. RCD RV Freedom starts on the open road. Tell them Bo sent you. They'll take care of you on that. Time for a little thing or not a thing. Hit it, Reese.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, so I spent the last couple of minutes looking through the NFL history books.
All right.
And I have found only one player to win 3 Super Bowls with 3 different teams. Matt Millen. Yes, that Matt Millen won Super Bowls with a linebacker for the Raiders, Niners, and then the Washington Redskins. Well, it looks like Von Miller is going to try to become the second player. As Adam Schefter reported, Miller signing a 1-year deal with the Washington Commanders. Miller, of course, won Super Bowls with the Broncos and the Rams. He is 36 years old. Thing or not a thing?
Well, I think it could be a huge thing. He's still got enough left in the tank. And that, I think the biggest thing here, though, and you'd have to talk to Timmy Hall because he's our Washington Commanders, Redskins fan here of note. But my hunch is this is the type of deal that never would have happened had Dan Snyder still been the owner. New ownership, rookie star quarterback. Hey, this might work out all right. I think all of those things. So I think it's a thing for a lot of reasons, but probably for most Washington football fans, it's mostly for that this is a new day in Washington, new ownership, and away we go.
Yeah, I think it's a thing. You're trying to build up some veteran experience around a younger roster that can compete to win now. I really like this move. I think it's a big thing.
Part of that new ownership group includes David Blitzer, who owns minority share of the Cleveland Guardians. In 2028, David Blitzer has an option to buy the majority share of the Cleveland Guardians from the Dolans. Just as an aside, just in case, again, you're interested in that sort of thing.
Would that be a thing or not a thing, Reese?
That would be such a thing. Because here's what you do. You just tell Stephen Kwan's agent, you go, hey, stick with us for a couple of years. We will reward you. And this is the Blitzer Harris Sports and Entertainment Group. We will reward you at the back end of this very handsomely if you just stick with us through 2028. I don't think he won't. He shouldn't. But again, in case that's something you're interested in. State Fair starts next Wednesday.
Yep.
The Ohio State Fair, every single year, they do wacky food creations. Mm-hmm. Earlier in the week, the fair released their new offerings for 2025.
Okay.
I'm going to just read the names of them. Stop me if you want to give the descriptions. Of course, this is all a thing. Sausage s'more skewer.
Go ahead. Give me the...
Smoked sausage on a skewer with toasted marshmallows drizzled with chocolate and sprinkled with graham cracker crumbles. Thing or not a thing?
I think that's a thing I would try. Mm-hmm. That feels like that might work. Jake, what do you think? Is that a thing you would try?
I don't think it would be. Just with that much chocolate on it, I don't.
Especially if it's 90 degrees outside.
Marshmallows too.
It'd be a mess.
Buckeye lemonade. Traditional lemonade infused with creamy peanut butter and chocolate.
No.
Thing or not a thing?
No shot.
No thing. Awful.
No shot.
Thanksgiving Sundays. Turkey, mashed potatoes, dressing, gravy, and cranberry sauce served Sunday style. Thing or not a thing?
That works. Yeah. I'm not a big cranberry guy, but the rest of that stuff would work.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be bad.
Thanksgiving dinner in a cup.
They're calling this the Fork Get Me Not Mac and D.
Okay.
Doritos layered with mac and cheese, topped with fried chicken, and finished with a drizzle of yum yum sauce. Thing or not a thing?
God, no, terrible. Why the yum yum? Like Doritos would have like a more of a southwestern flavor, like a nacho cheese, and so now you're adding yum yum sauce to that? No, out, not a thing.
Yeah, I'm not a big yum sauce guy either. With you both, yeah, not a thing for me.
Blue Raz Crunch Funnel Cake, a traditional fried funnel cake topped with cream cheese frosting and homemade blue raspberry cookie crunch. Thing or not a thing?
I'll tell you who would suck down 60 of those is Bootsy. Blue raspberry anything, he's in. I mean, he would suck down 6 of those in a second. I feel like it would probably be okay though. I think that would be all right. I'd give it a shot. Thing.
I don't know if I've had cream cheese frosting. I'm not a big cream cheese guy, so I don't think I would. I think I would stay away from it.
All right.
Dubai chocolate funnel cake, the new take on Dubai chocolate.
What is that?
I think it's
What's Dubai
chocolate with pistachio cream in the middle.
Okay.
Chocolate covered. It's a funnel cake covered in pistachio cream, crunchy pastry shreds, and chocolate chips.
Yeah, that feels like a home run. Doesn't that feel like that'd be great? Unless you don't like pistachios for some reason.
I think that would be the only thing that would keep you from it.
Yeah, I think I'm in on it for sure. That does sound really good.
Chocolate and vanilla ghost pepper fudge. Sweet and spicy fudge getting its heat from 100% ghost pepper powder. Thing or not a thing?
No, nope. Doesn't work for me. I'm not hot guy. I like spice fine, but I'm not like, I got to get something to burn my mouth. I don't enjoy that. So no, I'm out on that.
When I'm eating fudge, I should enjoy it. I don't want to be burning my mouth with it. So no.
I'm also wondering.
Do you guys know these guys who do that though, who want to like have the hottest and then act like they like it? And I'm watching them eating it, and I'm like, I know you don't. There's no way you're enjoying that.
It's like adrenaline junkies. In a similar way, you want to jump out of an airplane without a parachute. It's like, what part of your brain's not firing there? It was announced earlier this week, if the Tampa Bay Rays make the playoffs, the team will play postseason games at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
Brings up the possibility, the long shot, that a World Series will be staged in a minor league stadium with a capacity just north of 10,000. The move came after discussion of potentially shifting postseason games to an alternate major league stadium, with Miami's Lone Depot Park among the sites considered. Again, the Rays are playing regular season games at Steinbrenner Field after a hurricane blew the roof off of Tropicana Field. They're going to go back to Tropicana Field next season. Right now, the Rays are 4th place in the American League East at 50-47. They're just a game and a half out of a wild card spot. Manfred said, though, he does anticipate them to go back to Tropicana in 2026. But there's an idea that maybe, just maybe, playoff games at a minor league ballpark. Thing or not a thing?
Well, it doesn't feel likely that it's going to happen. They're in 4th place in the division, so it's not likely that's going to happen. What else would they do, though? There's not a whole lot of other options here. Like, even if you only can have 10,000 people, maybe they could find a way to make it 20. I've been to, it used to be called Legends Field. I've been there. It's a really cool park, and it's big. By minor league standards, it's big. It's where the Yankees have spring training. Maybe you could, there is some area around there, maybe you could get it to 20. But just think, if they got to the World Series, you wouldn't want to, it's not like Miami's close. You know what I mean? Like, so now you're going to have Rays fans having to go to Miami to play. So there's really nowhere else to play it. So I don't blame them. There's no other place in the state of Florida that could house it. So to me, this makes sense in the world to do it, and it would be kind of a cool thing if it actually happened. I don't have a problem with it.
That would be the way that Tampa wins a World Series, isn't it? In a minor league ballpark.
Would be fitting, wouldn't it?
And honestly, it almost sounds like Cinderella storybook type.
Yeah.
That we are going to get a World Series in a minor league ballpark.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
That's where we're headed. All right, final hour of the program. 20 most interesting. The Alabama Crimson Tide. A lot of pressure on Kalen DeBoer in year 2. We'll get into it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The Big 9 was a sad, incomplete place. Enter Ohio State. The rest is history. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Matty Ice here up at McDaniel GM Superstore in Marion. They are celebrating July 4th all month long. Right now, for qualified buyers, get up to $12,000 off MSRP on a 25 Silverado 1500. With McDaniel GM Superstore, you don't have to worry about market adjustments or hidden costs. That's why they are my go-to for a new vehicle. They are just a short drive north off Route 23 in Marion, or you can visit McDanielGMSuperstore.com. McDaniel GM Superstore, where great deals meet a century of trust. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
The countdown is on. Save the date because Diamonds Direct's Designer Summer Sale kicks off this Monday, July 21st with 20% off the entire store. Engagement rings, diamond studs, fashion jewelry, and more. Want early access? Book your appointment now because the best pieces go fast. Don't miss the jewelry event of the season next week only at Diamonds Direct, and designer appearances July 25th through 27th. Top designers from New York and LA with their exclusive collections. Visit DiamondsDirect.com to book your appointment and start saving.
Football in July, outstanding, and it's kicking off at the Pro Football Hall of Fame July 31st in Football Heaven in Canton, Ohio. And you can still grab tickets for the Hall of Fame game between the Lions and the Chargers. And then on August 2nd, 4 of the greatest of all time get immortalized in bronze at the Class of 25 enshrinement. And cap off the weekend Sunday with a concert for legends featuring Nickelback with special guest Mitchell Tenpenny. It's a gold jacket weekend. Visit ProFootballHof.com to learn more and get your tickets.
You know that project you've been working on? Just chipping away at it, dreaming of the day you get to show it off? Then, when you're least expecting it, cancer. And finishing that project actually happens. I would know. I've been restoring this car for years, and today I'm giving it to my granddaughter. It's her 16th birthday and 2 years since my cancer diagnosis.
Mom, you finished it?
Happy birthday, boo-boo. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans to learn more.
Hey there, friends. Bo Bishop here to let you know that Clayton Homes Sign and Save Sales event is going on now. Right now, you can save up to $5,000 instantly on your home purchase at Clayton Homes. Get the luxury, quality, and style you want in a beautiful, affordable home with energy-efficient features to fit your budget. Clayton Homes is changing the way homes are built. The craftsmen at Clayton build their homes in state-of-the-art facilities that help protect your new home from the elements during the construction process and just in time for summer. Get a home equipped with energy smart features for year-round comfort and savings. Check out their fully furnished new home models and see all the options available to create the perfect home. With many floor plans to choose from, Clayton Homes is certain they can help you find the home you've been looking for. Visit the local Clayton Homes near you or browse their limited time deals at manufacturedhomeoffers.com to learn more. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating Clayton Homes family of brands retailers through August 31st. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
Thinking about buying your first home? Now, with Third Federal, you can buy your first home and pay no PMI. Hi, I'm Mark Stefanski, Chairman and CEO of Third Federal. Private mortgage insurance, or PMI, can cost thousands of dollars over the life of your loan. And you may not realize PMI doesn't protect you. It only protects the lender in case of default. But at Third Federal, you can buy a home with just 5% down and no PMI. Plus, first-time home buyers get $750 off a closing cost. So if you're thinking about buying your first home, go for it and visit thirdfederal.com.
Even before you find a home, lock in 6.49%, APR 6.52% on a 30-year fixed-rate purchase mortgage. Visit thirdfederal.com or call 1-800-3RD-FED today. APR reflects 15% down for $350,000 loan amount. Rate requires automatic payment program and is subject to change. Restrictions apply. See conditions for closing cost coupon at thirdfederal.com/FTHB. Equal housing lender.
Adam Scheffler here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sports book for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reese. Scotty Scheffler's making a run as he wraps up the first round of the British Open over at Royal Portrush. The world's number one golfers 3 under through 17. That's one off the lead of 4 under. 3 golfers carded that 67 in their opening round, including Matt Fitzpatrick. Defending champ Xander Schauffele's in the clubhouse at even par. Rory McIlroy's even on the day through 2, as is Bryson DeChambeau. In soccer, the 5-match unbeaten streak for the Crew came to an end last night in the Music City. Nashville SC blanked the black and gold 3-0. Crew are going to host DC United Saturday night at 7:30. And Ohio State men's basketball will play Virginia in a non-conference game February 14th. That'll be played at the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee. This update sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Rates as low as 5.54% and a $400 cash bonus when you refinance your auto loan with BMI Federal Credit Union. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, before we get to 20 most interesting, seeing this from Porty, among others, through his agent, it appears that Blue Jackets' Igor Chinnikov has requested a trade. His agent saying, this is a quote from Chinnikov, "I had some misunderstanding with the coach during the season. I would be glad to have a trade. I'd like to move to a different location while I return to Russia, as long as I can play in the NHL. Let me see if I can get all this. I will keep developing here." Yeah, so it seems like he's looking for a move on that side of things. So we'll see what all of that is all about. Time for a little 20 most interesting on the Alabama Crimson Tide.
As college football draws near, Bishop and Friends present the 20 most interesting programs. Spoiler alert, Rutgers isn't one of them.
So this is the program of record of the last 20 years. You could argue, if you're from certain parts of the country, it's the program of record for the history of the sport. Certainly on the Mount Rushmore with Ohio State, Notre Dame, and then you can argue about who you want the fourth one to be, but this is certainly on that list. It's Alabama. They had Doug Maurice was the first one I heard said this. I thought it was really one of the best points I heard about the SEC's dominance over 2+ decades in college football that has come to an end with the last 2 champions being from the Big Ten, and that is that that Ohio State did not have an SEC problem, or the Big Ten did not have an SEC problem. They had an Alabama problem. They had a Nick Saban problem. Well, Nick Saban left, kind of shockingly, and in doing so, they went out and hired Kalen DeBoer. Now, he wasn't their first choice. Dan Lanning was. DeBoer was their second, and he was coming off of playing for the national title at Washington, working, quite honestly, magic with Michael Penix at Washington in that final year there, where I had Penix. He was my choice to win the Heisman that year. I thought he was that good. And so you get DeBoer. Year one, it was kind of all set up for them. They had a magical night in Tuscaloosa when they beat Georgia. And then they followed that up with a loss to Vandy. And they were probably a playoff team had they not had one of the most inexplicable losses in all of college football last year when they went to Norman and lost to Oklahoma. It made no damn sense. Oklahoma wasn't playing good ball. They hadn't played good ball all year, and they lost that game, and then that nuked them. And then they were cooked, and then they lost to Michigan in the bowl game 19-13, and the rest is history. And so after year one, with kind of making do with some of Saban's guys and some of the holdovers, some great recruiting classes, this now feels very much like Kalen DeBoer's program heading into year two. It feels like Ty Simpson will be the quarterback. He was highly regarded coming out. He replaces Jalen Milroe, who had some positives and some negatives. And we've talked to Paul about this before with Milroe, where there was people at Alabama that were like, yeah, good riddance. Not in the sense of like, hey, thank God you're gone. Just, okay, there's a ceiling to this, and we need to find a different ceiling with a different quarterback. So it'll likely be Ty Simpson. They've recruited really well. If you are playing the college football video game, they have the number one most talented roster on the game. That's not by mistake. These are the remnants of the last couple of Saban classes. I think they've done a really good job of keeping everybody in the fold. Remember last year, of course, not only did they lose their quarterback to Ohio State, they lost their safety to Ohio State. They lost their center to Ohio State. They lost Caden Proctor for a minute to Iowa, and then he came back, and he's back at Alabama this year. What I think is going to be really fascinating about Alabama is Alabama now, in today's age in college football, are they a product of an impossible expectation because of what Saban did? And how could he ever live? How could anyone in modern college football? And maybe that's why Saban got out, because there was no way to maintain what he was maintaining in this era of college football, that you just couldn't have the financial might every year to go toe-to-toe with not only everybody in your conference, but the heaviest hitters in the sport. Nick Saban is a brilliant head coach. He's brilliant at process and defensive game planning and all of it. But let's not get lost here. He had the most talented teams every year. If you go look at his recruiting classes, his entire tenure at Alabama, and I've done this before, I don't think that there's one that's not in the top four, and the majority of them are number one. Let's keep this simple. If you have the most talent, you win. He had the most talent for 15 years, and he won a lot. And he deserves credit for that, because that's in recruiting, that's in development, that's all of those things. But until Kirby got to Georgia, even Urban here was no match from a year-in, year-out recruiting standpoint to what Alabama and Saban put together during that run. So now it's DeBoer in year two, his program. The schedule, it's ambitious. I mean, their two non-conference games are at Florida State and Wisconsin at home, and then they get the SEC slate. So they have 8 SEC games that can include dates at Georgia, Tennessee at home, LSU at home, and, of course, at Auburn. And then you add to that playing non-conference games at Florida State and Wisconsin at home. Now, Florida State and Wisconsin aren't what they were when these games were scheduled, but they are still Power 4 opponents with talent, and you've got 2 of them on your schedule. Can he survive it? Can he thrive? Who knows? They have a big-time talent at wide receiver in Ryan Williams. And it's now completely his program. But I think this is the most interesting thing, guys, is what is modern-day Alabama? What is Alabama post-Saban? And is Kalen DeBoer the guy to lead it over the course of the next 5 to 10 years? We'll find out, I think, a lot of that this year.
Yeah, I think modern-day Alabama is still being one of the premier programs in the SEC. I think it's always a program that's in contention for an SEC championship every single year. I think even if they stay at 8 conference games or if they move to 9 conference games, you're always going to have Alabama in the mix. I think that the DeBoer thing's an impossible ask. Follow up the greatest football coach of all time. There's no way he's going to be able to do that. But keeping some of the talent that they had, you talked about the losses, and those are some losses that a lot of coaches probably wouldn't be able to get over. And it feels like DeBoer did okay per impossible Alabama standards in year one. But they have Ryan Williams, second best, one of the most electric college football players in the country. They got a quarterback with a little bit of experience. They, maintain a lot of their offensive line, so you get a lot of stability on your offense that'll help you score a ton of points. Or at least that's what you think. And I look at the game against Georgia on September 27th. It's in the month of September. You can survive a loss there and still be okay the last 2 months of the season. You've just not got to let things fall apart like they did for the Crimson Tide in 2024. So I think with you, this is pretty navigable. And I think as long as there's still a thirst for Alabama fans to get to where they were at with Nick Saban, they're never going to do that. But if they're going to keep taking shots at it and they're going to keep stacking a war chest that gives them the ability to retain a lot of those guys, they'll be all right.
You look at this thing and you look at this schedule, and it's going to... This first month is the most ambitious first month of any team in America. And again, I acknowledge, Florida State and Wisconsin are not what they've been, but those are still programs that recruit it, that develop it, that have pros. Your first month is Florida State, UL Monroe, Wisconsin, Georgia. That's the first month. If he's 3-1 at the end of that, then it loosens up a little bit. Then it's Vandy, who they lost to last year. It's at Missouri. It's at Tennessee. It's at South Carolina. So they go 3 straight road games in October. Actually, it's 4 straight road games overall because then they're in Tuscaloosa for LSU. Then Oklahoma's at Tuscaloosa. So the last month of the season, they have the Auburn game is in Auburn. But other than that, it's pretty manageable. I would imagine that if you're Alabama, you're looking at this thing and you go 10-2, we're in the playoff, and that feels about right.
Is this probably the toughest opening month they've ever had? I mean, I know we've been saying Florida State and Wisconsin aren't what they used to be.
They're games that'll have a lot of eyeballs. Yeah.
It's the toughest first month of any team playing. I mean, there's nobody this year who's got a tougher first month than that.
True.
Probably not. I think Miami, we found out last week, Miami doesn't leave the state of Florida until November.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think, you'd have to think, there's no way, LSU plays Clemson, but there's no way their first month has 2 other Power 4 teams in it who, have the reputation and typically have the talent that Florida State and Wisconsin do. So, look, here's the deal with Florida State and Wisconsin. They're not UL Monroe, and they can beat you. Both of those teams could beat you. You have more talent, sure, but they're in your weight class. And so, that's tough. It's pretty brutal. It's been brutal for him there. And it's time for him to you've got a couple of years here. You got one more. You got this year with Ryan Williams and another one. To me, this feels like the year before the year for Bama. Like maybe next year, Ty Simpson year 2 as the starter. Next year, are they national championship level contenders? I think they still have too many questions this year in terms of being able to answer that. Luke Robinson's going to join us at the bottom of the hour on this, and we'll get his view kind of on the expectations and what feels right on that. Here's a little win for you. We're giving away 2 tickets to NEAT, a bourbon event at Cherry Valley Hotel in Newark on Saturday, July 26. Explore 15 distilleries, including Woodford, Middle West, Watershed, along with live music, a cigar bar, classes, and more. For more information and to purchase tickets, go to cherryvalleyhotel.com, 821-9710. Let's go. Ryan Williams wears 2 at Georgia, or at Alabama. Let's go second caller. Second caller is going to scoop up the tickets there. We'll hit the categories on the Crimson Tide coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be, and if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Tri-State Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654. That's 800-900-9654. Or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Stop by Columbus Equipment in Columbus, Dayton, or Toledo to see their full line of Kubota construction equipment, or check them out online at columbusequipment.com.
The countdown is on. Save the date because Diamonds Direct's designer summer sale kicks off this Monday, July 21st with 20% off the entire store. Engagement rings, diamond studs, fashion jewelry, and more. Want early access? Book your appointment now because the best pieces go fast. Don't miss the jewelry event of the season next week only at Diamonds Direct, and designer appearances July 25th through 27th. Top designers from New York and LA with their exclusive collections. Visit diamondsdirect.com to book your appointment and start saving.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at tmobile.com.
Of your favorite fan content? Good news, we're on all the digitals. Follow 971 The Fan on X, Facebook, YouTube, The Talk, and Gram. Your digital home for endless shenanigans. The Fan.
You can stream the game on your phone while you're gardening. You can stream it while you walk the dog. You can stream it at a trampoline park. You can even stream it at a monster truck rally. But the second you get behind the wheel, the game's over. Remember, Ohio, phones down. It's the law.
This radio commercial was made to convince you to stop speeding. We can't use siren sound effects on the radio, so we'll use other equally jarring sound effects to get your attention. Like telling you that whether you drive a little over the speed limit or a lot, you can crash just the same. You could hurt yourself or worse, others.
I'm at the scene of the collision.
And the damage you cause will be beyond repair. See, we didn't have to use crash or siren sounds after all. Speeding catches up with you. Brought to you by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
We'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, although not as widespread as yesterday. Otherwise, skies will be partly sunny with our highs in the upper 80s. For tonight, lows down into the 60s overnight with mostly cloudy skies and a stray chance of showers and storms. And then as we go into your Friday, yet again, chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Otherwise, mostly cloudy with our temperatures in the 80s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
The radio couldn't contain us, so we've taken over YouTube. Catch Morning Juice weekday mornings at 6 by searching 971 The Fan. Do it. After putting up with Tom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, here. Oh, first of all, we got to do this, as we should. They're our great friends. Proud to tell you about our friends at Diamond Cellar, and this is a good one because Diamond Cellar's wedding weekend is back. Mark your calendars, July 25th, 26th. Incredible offers you won't want to miss. Join them. Buy one, get one half off wedding bands, 20% off diamond anniversary bands, and 10% off handcrafted custom bridal. They've had the guaranteed best price for over 78 years. So choose a jeweler you can trust. Go see them July 25th and 26th for their wedding weekend at Diamond Cellar, Sawmill Road, Easton Town Center. The renovation's incredible. Both locations. Awesome stuff from them. Before we get to the categories, front office sports reporting, among others, now SB Nation kind of jumping onto it, that President Trump is likely to sign an executive order that will limit and put an earnings cap on how much players can make through NIL. And so, again, this will hold until there's a court. And that's kind of where that is. So we'll take that with a grain of salt, as we do with most things where that is concerned. All right, time for the Bama Crimson Tide in the categories. What are we listening to? Oh, yeah. Tim May is bouncing around in Jubilee right now, listening to Yeah, Alabama. That wins.
This would be if Tim May was a song.
Yeah. NIL portal grade for the Crimson Tide. Jacob, what do you got?
It's an A. They've got the number 5 overall freshman class coming in. I think they're 21st in the transfer portal. Spend it well. They got a lot of money down there in Tuscaloosa. It's an A for me.
Yeah, I'm going to give them an A as well because of everything Jacob just said and the retention. Like they got ultimate free agent LT Overton from Texas A&M. They were also able to keep Ryan Williams, who, if you hear anything about Jeremiah Smith and what's being offered to him in the offseason, it's the exact same with Williams, and the Crimson Tide kept him.
They did, yeah. Yeah, he was unbelievable. Yeah, I think it's an A. It feels like they're organized. They got to do it a different way. They're more of a Netflix model program. They need everybody to do their subscriptions and pay their $50 a month. They're not one big booster pays for everything guy. They don't have oil money. They don't have those type of things. But they got an enormous fan base that is more than willing to chip in, as it were, to make sure they're competitive. And they have been. This was a nice rebound. This offseason was a nice rebound for DeBoer, both in recruiting and in the portal and who they were able to retain. Would Buddy Garrity want to run their collective grade, Jacob?
I think he would. I mean, Tuscaloosa is a very famous college football town, college football city, and with the fans that they have there, I think he definitely would.
Yeah, I think he'd fit. I mean, it's a B+. I think he'd fit in pretty well in Tuscaloosa. What he could do is open Buddy Garrity Automotive East, and then just his old Buddy Garrity Automotive in Dillon would be West. You could operate those two in conjunction with, I think it's Nick Saban Mercedes.
I think that might be in Nashville, but
that would help you wash a lot of NIL money.
It would. I just think Buddy Garrity and like a seersucker sitting on a front porch in Tuscaloosa wins. I mean, I just think that feels like a win. I think it's a B+. I think it's a little more challenging than some of the Texas schools in terms of cobbling together collective money, but I think he'd do quite well. I think it'd be a pretty good fit for him. Campus life, social life grade for Alabama, Jacob.
It's an A. Like I just said, Tuscaloosa, all the football tradition that they have there. It's a great venue, great stadium. I think it's perfect. I think it's an A.
I think in terms of footballness, it's an A, but I've been to Tuscaloosa, and it would be a solid C. Like the Tuscaloosa Arby's is fine. The city isn't great.
No, it's not. No.
It's a lot of drinking and a lot of sports watching. So I'm going to give it a B, meeting in the middle of my C, normally A football.
This is probably the best example of the old football's the front porch of the university, because anybody could have walked into Alabama in like 1998 and they're taking you. Full acceptance. But because of all of the winning and because of Saban and the association with it, they become like this desirable university in the South where people and kids up here want to go to. There's several kids in our little town that went to Alabama the last couple of years to go to school. And the social life grade's got to be an A+. I mean, NBC's telling me about Bama Rush. He's locked into that. So, like, that's enough to let you know, like, that stuff's working. Like, all of that stuff is working with the young kids. So it feels like an AA- to me in terms of the campus and the social part of it. Yes, Tuscaloosa is nothing to write home about, though. But most of those southern ones aren't. Neither's Gainesville. I mean, a lot of them they're just little dump towns. All right. Do they wear the right uniform? Well, they only wear one.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you look at it, just looking at the uniforms, the look of it, it's a B. But if you go based off of how iconic the uniform is, it's an A. I mean, you got the numbers on the side of the helmet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the same thing every single year, but it's Alabama. It's Alabama football. You know what you're getting.
Yeah, I'm going to give it an A. There's 5 uniforms that are like, that's college football. Alabama's is one of them.
My best story on Alabama's uniforms is when Nike said, we're going to do pro combat uniforms. You remember this? You guys old enough to remember this? Nike was going to do pro combat uniforms for all of their teams, and it was going to be like a little twist on uniforms they already wore. And Saban said no, and they said, no, Nick, we really need you to. Like, you're one of our big schools. We really need you to do this. So you want to know what Alabama did, and you can find this. You can Google it. They put the most faint houndstooth pattern in the number. So they didn't change the uniforms at all. But in the number, the physical number on the actual jersey, not the helmet, but the jersey, there is a very faint houndstooth pattern. And that is the only alternate uniform Alabama's ever worn. Other than that, it's crimson over white.
I think I can see it.
It's so faint, dude.
Yeah,
like,
it's bad.
You have to squint to see it. Like, they don't screw. They said, yeah, no. So anytime somebody told me when Ohio State would wear some crazy uniform, certainly in the urban era, they wore a lot of them, and they would always say, oh, the kids like it's for recruiting. My answer was always, well, it didn't hurt Bama. Bama looks the same always. They recruit number 1 in the country. It didn't hurt them at all. They didn't have to do the uniform game. So, yeah, I think it's an A. It's not my favorite uniform, but iconic, yeah, absolutely. Which player off their team would we want in scarlet and gray? There's a lot of prospects here, a lot of choices. but there's one
obvious.
Yeah, the obvious one's Ryan Williams.
Yeah.
But I love our receiving core here in Columbus. So I am going to go to the offensive line with Caden Proctor, just because the offensive line here seems like there's still some work to be done, and this just gives them a little extra experience.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Proctor as well.
I also feel like we've already taken so much from them.
It's like North Carolina. Like, who's the best player? Well, you already got him.
Caleb Downs. Thank you.
We got your safety. We got your quarterback. We got your center. Like, we got them all. So, at discount. So, yeah, I mean, to me, it would be Ryan Williams just from the standpoint of I cannot imagine a scenario being a defensive coach and having Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams, and Carnell Tate. Like, what do you even... I mean, that'd be like Megatron and Randy Moss playing on the same team in their prime.
You just tell them good luck. Go get them.
Yeah, you just got nothing. So, like, yeah, Ryan Williams here would be... Proctor's the smart one, but Ryan Williams would be nothing short of pure joy.
Lace him up tight. It's going to be a long one.
Yeah. All-time big man on campus at Alabama.
It's Derrick Henry for me. I mean, he was great at Alabama, Heisman winner. He is massive. You cannot miss him if he's walking around campus. It's Derrick Henry.
Was it Terrence Cody, literal biggest man on campus?
Mount Cody.
I'm Julio Jones. Like, when Jeremiah Smith gets compared to Julio Jones, you've done a pretty good job. But Derek Thomas was probably a very large human and a very large presence on that campus at Alabama back in, late 90s?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, they have so many. There's a million ways you could go here. Typically, when Saban's asked, like, who's the best player he ever coached, he says Julio. I think Derrick Henry makes all the sense. But I'm going old school here because big man on campus, to me, there are two guys old school that fit this perfectly, and that is Joe Willie Namath and Kenny the Snake Stabler. You want to talk about iconic. Like, you're not doing better than Namath cruising around Tuscaloosa in the 60s or Kenny Stabler, the Snake. His nickname's the Snake, for God's sakes. How can you be bigger than that? So I'm going to go both of those guys, but they've had a lot to choose from. And honestly, the idea that they have both Bear Bryant and Nick Saban's pretty wild, that they had them both is pretty crazy. Can they win it all? Playoff, conference champ, respectable, or chump for the Crimson Tide? What do you got, Jacob?
It's just like Georgia yesterday. The expectation in Tuscaloosa is to win it all. And I believe that they have the talent to do so. It's going to be on Kalen DeBoer and how he brings it all together.
I think you were right, Bo. You said earlier that they're a year away. I think this is make the playoffs is, I think, the ceiling for this Alabama team. Do your 9-3 and argue all you want. Get a 10-2, get in.
I think they're, I don't think they're, I got to see Simpson play a little bit. They can benefit because there aren't that many returning quarterbacks around the country, so I think they can benefit a little bit from that. But to me, like a successful season, Tuscaloosa, make the playoff, get to the quarterfinal, get to the semifinal even, win a game or two before kind of putzing out a little bit. To me, that feels like that would be success for them. But, of course, if I was doing this show down there, I would say go win the national championship or we're firing Kalen DeBoer. So that's kind of the way it is down there. But, yeah, to me, they feel like a year away, although they are very, very loaded. We'll get some perspective on Bama. Luke Robinson, Locked On Bama, going to join us in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Get cash for clunkers during the Honda Summer Event at Lindsay Honda.
Listen up, Columbus. Cash for clunkers is big money towards your next ride.
Up to $3,500 minimum for your trade.
Use it for the down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash.
Lease a new 2025 HR-V two-wheel drive LX or 2026 Civic 4-door LX for just $299 a month. Zero cash down. Just bring us your clunker. Shop Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store now. For details, visit lindsayhonda.com.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But with an unpredictable economy and the future feeling uncertain, you're wondering if that equity will still be there when you're ready. What if you could bank that equity right now? With Truehold, you can sell your home for its current value, so you can access your equity today. You can bank the cash now and stay in the home you love with an easy standard lease. Truehold even covers property taxes, insurance, and repairs. And since Truehold hands over your equity in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't let a shifting economy put your hard-earned equity at risk. Visit Truehold.com and receive their competitive offer on your home in just 48 hours, based on its current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit Truehold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without moving. That's Truehold.com.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to sponsor the Fan and 10 TV's Beat the Heat fan drive, benefiting Life Care Alliance. You can help Ohio's most vulnerable residents deal with the extreme heat this summer. How can you help? Purchase new box fans and bring them to the nearest Franklin County Fire Station, or you can buy online and ship fans directly to Life Care Alliance. The collection and distribution of fans is to assist residents who are at risk of heat stroke or heat exhaustion. For more information, go to lifecarealliance.org.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Pull up a stool and ask the bartender for something neat, because Uncle Bo is on the radio. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, 20 most interesting, the Alabama Crimson Tide. For perspective on the Tide, we head out on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Luke Robinson, Locked On Bama, joins us there. Luke, thanks so much for taking the time. Year 2 for Kalen DeBoer. What is the approval rating 1 year in?
You know, I think the approval rating is better now than it was at the end of last year. Of course, as you guys know, it's never fun to lose to Michigan. And we lost to Michigan in the bowl game at a time, frankly, that just should not have happened. We lost to a Vanderbilt team who Vandy beats the number 1 team in the country for the first time in its history after we have probably the game of the year against Georgia. We lose to an Oklahoma squad that was completely inept offensively. And we lose to a Tennessee squad that, frankly, we just were better than. We just didn't play very well. So he had a lot to account for. But I think as the year has gone on, right after the Michigan game, I know there were a lot of people like, I don't know if this is going to work out. But then his recruiting kept getting better, and he ended up with the number 3 class in the country. He has not gone out and just laid down a bunch of excuses. I thought he did a great job at the SEC Media Days being boring yesterday, because he didn't come out and say, well, we lost Vandy because of this and that, and we lost Michigan because of this and that. No, he just said we got to do better. And I think that's what Alabama fans wanted to hear. So I think the approval rating is higher right now.
Luke, I was in Tallahassee when Bobby Bowden was forced out. And one of the things that he did is he moved. He moved to Birmingham. He spent some time between Birmingham and Panama City. Now, Saban, not only is he not moved, I mean, you see him at games. He's on game day. His presence is, at times, I would think, got to be overwhelming. What is that dynamic like in Tuscaloosa? Because that is not a big town. And how present is Saban, and how much of a shadow does he cast over DeBoer?
Yes, it's not as bad as you think. From the outside looking in, I totally get it. I see where people are coming from. But let me tell you a couple of things. First of all, if you're a message board guy, and I am, I mean, I love following message boards all over the place, so that's where the fun is. And so a lot of Auburn folks and Tennessee folks and LSU folks were given the Nelson Muntz ha-ha at Alabama because they felt like Nick Saban was still doing the recruiting, because there were some pictures of Nick Saban with some various recruits during a recruiting weekend. Well, the story behind that is Keelan Russell, who was the number 1 player in the country last year, he signed with Alabama. He has a twin sister, and she died rather unexpectedly. And Kalen DeBoer went to her funeral that Sunday during a recruiting weekend. So meanwhile, Nick Saban was like, hey, I'll sort of fill in for this. I mean, I understand what you're doing. And so there were some guys that were on visits, and they wanted their pictures with Nick Saban, and they wanted to talk to him, because Nick Saban still is employed by the university, and he has an office there. He still goes there. And, yes, his shadow's big. You know why? Because he's the best coach that's ever done it. But at the same time, if Nick Saban is there, look, if I went to a Chicago Bulls game and this, Michael Jordan were retired, but he happened to be there, I would rather have a picture with Michael Jordan than any of the current Bulls.
Right.
So, and that doesn't mean I'm not a Bulls fan. It just means that Michael Jordan is Michael Jordan and Nick Saban's Nick Saban. So I don't think it's one of those things where Nick Saban is doing a lot of hand-holding for Kalen DeBoer. I do think Kalen DeBoer is using Nick Saban as a resource because let's not forget, Kalen DeBoer is from the South, but is South Dakota. So he doesn't know this area quite as well. Nick Saban knows it pretty doggone well. So I think he's using this incredible resource. It'd be like if you went to take a math test and your teacher said, all right, you guys can use your calculators. And, I mean, are you going to say, nah, I want to see what I can do? No, you're going to use that calculator. Nick Saban is a calculator.
Yeah, I think early on Ryan did that with Urban and to great effect, and then eventually it became Ryan's program. Like there was a time up here where that flipped, and there will probably come a time where that will flip entirely for Kalen down there. And look, can you recruit it? Do you have players? And he did that at a high level. I think he's a brilliant offensive coach, and that brings us to kind of where we are next. You have 2 years of Jalen Milroe at quarterback, and now it feels like Ty Simpson is the guy. What can you tell us about him, and what offensively? My God, a ton of weapons. Proctor's a first-round pick. Williams we know about. Like, ton of weapons. What offensively do you expect to see out of Alabama in year 2 for DeBoer?
I expect to see a lot more consistency. Jalen Milroe, I'm going to tell you, I got to meet him several times, and he is the nicest human being and just humble. He is a giant. He is, he's formed out of marble. I mean, he's just an incredible athlete and a super dude. At the same time, he wasn't the most accurate dude all the times. And he also didn't make the best decisions about handing the ball off or keeping the ball off or keeping the ball, et cetera. So I'm not here to criticize Jalen Milroe because I liked him and I was for him. But if you watch the Oklahoma game, even I, who was a Milroe fan, I was like, we got to do something else. Milroe's just not got it tonight. Well, I think Ty Simpson, while he's not going to give you some plays where he can, burst for 85 yards for a touchdown, he does have speed, by the way, but he's not Milroe speed, and he's going to be more accurate. I think he's going to be more in tune with what the offense is. And, I mean, again, just calling a spade last year, I think Kalen DeBoer was handcuffed a little bit by, you couldn't just come in and make a quarterback change. There were so many, everything was teetering. Ryan Williams had decommitted. You wanted to get him back. There were players talking about transfers. You wanted to make them come back. You had to keep everything as stable as you could. And the definition of instability is making a quarterback change from a guy who was a starter when you're a new coach. So I think he was handcuffed a little bit, but that doesn't mean Jalen Milroe wasn't good. He won an SEC championship game. He gave us the Gravedigger play in the Iron Bowl. He did some great things at Alabama. But, I think Ty Simpson can actually be a better quarterback, especially for this system, and especially when you're throwing to Ryan Williams, who I'll give Jeremiah Smith all the props in the world. I think he's the best receiver in the country. I think Ryan Williams is right next to him. And so I'm pro throwing to Ryan Williams at every opportunity. And meanwhile, they bring in Isaiah Horton, who's from Tennessee, who's played with Ty Simpson in some 7-on-7 situations in the past. He was at Miami. He's looking really, really good. You got Jeremy Bernard, who transferred over from Washington, a very, very strong player who was on that team that Kalen DeBoer took to the national championship game. And you've got another guy named Rico Scott coming in, who is from Pennsylvania, very talented, made some great plays in practice, and they're very high on him. So I think this receiving core is going to be really, really good, and they finally got a guy who's a little bit more accurate.
Will Keelan Russell, you mentioned him, number 1 quarterback in the country. Him and Underwood kind of went back and forth for that honor. Will there be packages for him? I mean, we see 5-star quarterbacks and fan bases get pretty excited about him.
Yeah, and also fan bases also get excited about whoever the backup is.
Sure.
The most popular player on the team is always the backup. And look, there's also Austin Mack in there. I get too much heck for never bringing Austin Mack up enough. He transferred in from Washington, about a 6'7" guy that has a lot of great tools. But in the end, I think it's going to be a Ty Simpson and then Keelan Russell thing. Keelan Russell, by the way, was just on the cover of Men's Health, if that tells you anything about him. Anyway, Keelan, I ran into just by happenstance, the father of a current player the other day. I'd never met him before. We just got struck up a conversation. He turns out he's the father of a guy on Alabama's team. And I said, so I said, hey, it's Ty Simpson, right? He goes, oh, yeah. He said, Ty Simpson's job, they keep saying, all the coaches keep saying it would be Ty Simpson's job if we played tomorrow. And I think that's a great way to frame it. But I do think it's going to be the case is that Ty's a starter. But the father was quick to tell me, let me tell you something, Keelan Russell can do some things you don't see people do. And he said, he's got a lot to learn. I mean, he's, this Ryan Grubb's coming in. It's a new offense. It's complicated. There's a lot going on. But in the end, Keelan Russell is a dude, and dudes usually end up playing.
Yeah, they do. We got a couple of your dudes are going to be starting for us this year is the way that thing's going to work out with at safety and at quarterback. Buddy, I'm looking at this schedule. Boy, I understand Florida State and Wisconsin aren't what they used to be, but they're still big-time programs. You got those guys and Georgia all in the first month. What is success this year for Alabama? How's it defined?
10-2 to me, 10-2 or better. And 5 years ago, if you had told me Alabama was going to be 10-2, I would have run into my bedroom and locked the door and cried all night. But now 10-2 gets you in the playoff 100%. Frankly, I think after last year, seeing what Indiana did with their pretty lax schedule and what SMU did, basically getting a sympathy card into the playoffs, I think people are realizing, okay, all 11-1s, 10-2s aren't created equal. And 9-3 may get an SEC team in this year, especially if it's one with the right schedule. And this is where I think the committee sort of messed up a little bit last year. They didn't have to take Alabama, but they could have taken South Carolina or Ole Miss over SMU specifically, because the message that was sent to me was your schedule really doesn't matter. And I look now, and I'm not trying to get off topic, but I look now on Twitter the other day where I see Indiana has already canceled its Virginia home and home, and I'm thinking this is the antithesis of what we need in college football. I want more Alabama schedules where, hey, we're going to play Florida State in the first game at their place, then we play La Monroe, which is fine, and then we welcome in Wisconsin. Guess what? Next year it's Florida State and West Virginia. The year after that, it's West Virginia and Ohio State. So, I mean, that's what I want college football to be. And I don't want to see too many powder puffs on there. I understand it's good for folks to have a cheap game to go to, and I appreciate that too. But I think we would all rather watch Alabama-Florida State than Alabama-Mercer. And if Indiana is going to be, clamoring to get in the playoffs or teams like that, and they keep canceling games against Virginia, who's not even a great Power 4 team, then I feel like if I'm Alabama, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to start playing, a bunch of 2A high school football stuff too. And I don't think we want that.
No, we don't. Hey, I understand you got family here, huh? Do I have that right?
I do. I have 3 children that were raised there right in Lewis Center. I've got my son's at Arizona State. My daughter is entering Alabama this year. Unfortunately, I still have to pay out-of-state tuition, even though I live in Alabama. And then I've got another son that is playing for Olentangy this year. And I go up there all the time. I love that area, and I respect Ohio State a ton.
That's awesome, man. Hey, we'll say hi to everybody up here, and it's great having you on. Thanks for your time, Luke.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on. Thank you so much.
All right, there you go. Luke Robinson, Locked On Bama. 10-2 is the number. They do that, they'll be in. There won't be any sort of conversation around it. The schedule's ambitious. We'll hit 3 things on a Thursday up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
When you speed, you have less time to react. Follow the speed limit to keep other road users safe. Speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA.
The countdown is on. Save the date because Diamonds Direct's Designer Summer Sale kicks off this Monday, July 21st with 20% off the entire store. Engagement rings, diamond studs, fashion jewelry, and more. Want early access? Book your appointment now because the best pieces go fast. Don't miss the jewelry event of the season next week only at Diamonds Direct, and designer appearances July 25th through 27th. Top designers from New York and LA with their exclusive collections. Visit diamondsdirect.com to book your appointment and start saving.
Care Heating and Cooling. Honest technicians, honest pricing.
Call 1-800-COOLING.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota of Columbus. Summer is the perfect time to gear up in a new truck from Germain Toyota of Columbus. Right now, drive home the 2025 Toyota Tundra with 1.99 APR for 72 months, or take command of the 2024 Toyota Tacoma, also just 1.99 APR for 72 months. Get power, performance, and unbeatable savings, all at Germain Toyota, located at 5711 Scarborough Boulevard on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road. Shop online anytime at germaintoyota.net.
Nationwide Picnic with the Pops presents Journey's music as you've never heard it before. The Columbus Symphony performs Winborn's The Music of Journey. Vocalist Justin Sargent, both a full rock band and orchestra, capture Journey's timeless music. Saturday, July 19th at the Columbus Commons. The Columbus Symphony performs Winborn's The Music of Journey. Get tickets now at picnicwiththepops.com or at the Kappa Ticket Center.
Hey, it's Anthony. I actually enjoy the off-season. Gives me a chance to be really active, travel, be on the move. But when my back started giving me pain, I wasn't going to just deal with it this time. I went to the Good Feet store. Their personally fit arch supports got my feet into their ideal alignment, and I could already feel the difference in my back immediately. And they educated me. I had no clue we actually have several arches under our feet, and those cushy over-the-counter insoles were not going to do the trick. So many people suffering with pain can benefit from their system. People with pain in their feet, ankles, lower legs, knees, hips, and more. I've been wearing my personally fit arch supports for a while now, and they've given me the motivation and confidence to be as active as I want to be. The Good Feet store thrives on being solution-oriented. Go in. The fitting is free. They want you to try them in the store and feel them for yourself. So get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City and on Polaris Parkway. Or check them out at goodfeet.com.
Skyline is introducing a new chicken chili. Come get that world-famous Skyline flavor you love with a new protein option. Try the new Skyline chicken chili on Waze, Coney's, and all your Skyline favorites. At Columbus Skyline locations only while supplies last.
All your favorite fan shows are on YouTube, along with those fake YouTube ads like Chew This Gum and It Grows New Teeth. Experience the splendor of Bo sitting in his closet, Timmy Hall's gouty gold chains, and Matty Ice wearing a coat in 90-degree weather. It's all there. Head to YouTube and subscribe today.
2 years ago, Bobby Carpenter completed treatments for knee pain at QC Kinetics. So we're checking in with the former college and pro football player to see how he's doing.
I've been asked a lot, like, how long does this last? How long does it work? I go, I've had mine for a couple years, and everything feels very good. It feels just as good as it did when I started to turn the corner.
Bobby's an active husband, dad, and business owner. That's why 2 years ago, he heard about QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments, and he knew he could trust them for his chronic knee pain.
And thankfully with QC Kinetics, I was able to go through this, and my activities are the same as it was. I'm able to coach my kids in sports. I can play golf. I can go run.
QC Kinetics patients like Bobby don't miss a beat. No surgery or rehab, just freedom from debilitating joint pain. Ready for lasting relief from joint pain? Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation and see if you're a good candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Our top men are working on everything except this show.
We have top men working on it right now. Who? Top men.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we have on the poll today?
Daily Fan Poll asks, did you watch any of the ESPYs last night? 89% of you say no, you didn't.
I think we're to the point. Did you guys watch any of them or did you just watch the clips?
So the opening monologue.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're at the point. Go ahead, Jacob. Go ahead.
I just watched the opening monologue as well and saw some clips on Twitter and everything.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where we are with this type of stuff now, right? Is like no one's just going to sit there for 2 hours or 3 hours and just watch an award show. So it's basically like you don't have to, like, just watch the moments, and there were a lot of them, and that's kind of the way to do it. Go ahead, Reese.
I just think that's the best case scenario for ESPN.
Sure.
Is we'll have this and we'll get whatever ratings might come our way from watching it live. It was on ABC. Mm-hmm. But if they can get conversation about it for the next week with social media and what Shane Gillis provided with like a 10-minute opening monologue, then I think they would consider that a win.
Yeah, I think, yeah. If you're being talked about, that's a win. I think that's it too. All right, time for three things on a Thursday. Hit it, guys.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, number one for me, as one of my favorite things about the 20 interesting programs that we hit, and we were all SEC. Well, we did SMU first, and then it was SEC the rest of the week. One of the things that's really still beautiful about this sport is how quickly you can talk yourself into hope. Hope for your team. And really everybody out there that we're talking to, and I look forward, we have 2 more weeks of this, 11 more programs to go. And we'll get into the Big Ten and some of the other schools around there. But the one constant is there are 20 teams, pretty much most of these teams that we're going to do, they can talk themselves into, and their fan bases can talk themselves into, we got a chance. We got a chance. We get into the playoff, we got a chance. And then who knows what happens. And that's a beautiful thing. It's with all of the chaos around college football, it is nice to know that there are still some things that remain the same, and hope springs eternal for fandom in college football.
Yeah, last week with some of the Big 12 schools, like just talking to the reporters that covered the teams and hearing from the coaches, and you're like, well, bless your heart.
Yeah, but they believe it.
That's what this time of the year provides, and it's wonderful. Mm-hmm. This from the corrections department. So I had said that all the AMC stuff was on Hulu. It's all the FX stuff is on Hulu. I just confused the two because a lot of stuff's kind of the same. Hunter chimed in on Twitter earlier in the program and says all of AMC is on Netflix. So if you want to do, the Mad Men rewatch, which I would recommend, Netflix has that and everything else.
I think Mad Men is the one. I mean, there's several of them, but that's definitely one that I think is like required viewing for people in our business, just in terms of what makes things interesting. And I also think it's timeless because it's all set in the late 50s, early 60s, so, and even early 70s. So there's nothing that gets lost in translation.
And I think for people who haven't seen it before, you've seen other things with all of the cast in it. Yes. And so it is cool doing those kinds of watches and rewatches, like, oh yeah, they're in it. Oh yeah, that person from this. So would recommend.
First thing for me, we knew this back on January 30th that Ohio State will play Virginia on Valentine's Day, jumping out of conference play, going into non-conference there in February, but we didn't know where it would be at. Well, now we know, and according to Matt Norlander, it's in Nashville's Bridgestone Arena. So there we go. The Buckeyes will play the Cavs in Nashville.
First of all, I thought you were talking football right away. You got to give me a little warning.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Basketball out of nowhere.
My bad.
Second of all, how is that game not better in Charlottesville or Columbus?
Yeah, I wish
they're going to play in front of 8 people, man.
Yeah, I wish it would be a home and home, but we're kind of seeing this a little bit in college basketball with some February non-conference games. Like I know Duke plays Michigan and Washington, D.C., and I think Louisville's playing Baylor in February as well.
So the television networks are the ones that are demanding this. My guess is it's some tourism board in Nashville or someone who wants it. But I'm not seeing it in the stands. What I see is empty stands unless Kentucky's involved. It's just you play in front of nobody.
Yeah, I think they were looking for a place where it would be good for both Virginia and Ohio State fans to meet.
Yeah,
and I don't know if Nashville really does it.
Play it in Cincinnati then. I mean, come on. Number 2 for me, good job for the Columbus Crew. So they did an anniversary kit that was a throwback, and the video on it's awesome. So it's got great friends like Dante Washington and Duncan Otten and Frankie Haydock in it. And the kit is a beautiful kit. It's really cool. And it's just one of those examples of really having your finger on the pulse of your fan base and hitting all the notes, and they did with this. So good job out of them on that.
We need your help here at The Fan to fight cancer. The Logan Services Fan Golf Classic silent auction is open now. The Golf Classic will be this coming Monday, so the silent auction is open right now through Monday. You got some incredible items that you can bid on: an Ohio State football tickets, memorabilia, golf foursomes, a behind-the-scenes tour of the Memorial Tournament, so much more. You can place your bid now at 971thefan.com. Every dollar raised goes towards the fight against cancer, benefiting our friends at the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer. Let's team up and make a difference. Again, 971thefan.com for that silent auction through Monday.
I'll keep it with golf for my second one. As I kind of expected coming into this, Bryson DeChambeau does not do well in links golf conditions. He is 2 over through 6 The game just doesn't suit him over there across the pond.
I'll make this my third. I'll piggyback on it. I think this might be, if you can get okay weather, this might be the best viewing experience of any of the majors. It feels like there's not a ton of people there. It feels like you can kind of walk where you need to. The stands, there's plenty of seats. This feels like if you can, and I know the weather's a big if, but if the weather cooperates, this might be the best major to attend in terms of being able to watch a lot of golf.
Another note from the Department of Corrections, while Mad Men is available on Netflix, it is not Netflix in this country. So you'll need a VPN to get past that, or I think just hand over the $5 for AMC Plus.
Well, I'd give away my password. God knows I can't cancel it. Someone might as well use it.
Coming up next on Rothman and Ice, they are diving into the Bengals Ring of Honor with Dave Lapham. So you got that coming up next.
That warmed the heart to hear that with Lap getting in there. So that's very, very good. You have that to look forward to, which is nice. We're back tomorrow. Thanks for listening. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. News, special guests, and everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
It's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
I'm Wilson from that other window place. Leslie, what's that hot lamp against your window for?
Pella windows are tested up to 160 degrees Wilson to ensure efficiency and the lowest energy bills possible, even in the craziest of temperatures. Put your hand on there.
All right. God, that's hot.
On the window, Wilson.
Oh, hey, that is quite nice and cool. So I'm going to go grab some ice now.
Get the window that Columbus homeowners rated #1 for innovation at PellaColumbus.com.
When you're ready to sell your car, another reason to choose Hinderer Motor Company is the easy, fast, fair, and hassle-free way to sell. This is Justin Hinderer. We pay top dollar for your vehicle, whatever the make or model, and no purchase is necessary. Consider trading and get even more toward your next vehicle. Drive in today and leave with cash or get a great deal. See why it's a pleasure doing business. Just visit HindererMotorCompany.com.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use, now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. My Computer Career, an elite CompTIA certification partner.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
This is one student's experience. Individual results vary.
Colin, Man, and Timmy here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Timmy?
Yeah, we got a lot of fun things going on this month, like karaoke.
And crab legs.
No, not yet. Live bands. We've got food trucks in the outdoor valet area.
Crab legs.
Oh, not yet. On select weekend days throughout the summer. Okay, now crab legs.
And all-you-can-eat crab legs at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Join Penn Play Rewards and play up to $500 on us. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, crab legs.
Oh, yeah, we love crab legs.
Time for crab legs?
Okay, crab legs.
Bourbon. Cherry Valley Hotel will be hosting a bourbon event called Neat on Saturday, July 26th from 4 to 9 p.m. Explore 15 distilleries, including Woodford, Middle West, and Watershed, along with live music, a cigar bar, classes, and more. For more information, visit cherryvalleyhotel.com.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
When it comes to home improvement, you've probably asked yourself a few key questions. Is the salesperson trustworthy? Will the company follow through on their promises? And is the work going to be a lasting solution, not just a quick fix? At Newman Roofing, we get it. As a locally based, family-owned company, we know how hard it can be to find a contractor you can truly trust. For over 33 years, we've been providing homeowners across Central Ohio with reliable roofing solutions done right the first time. When you choose Newman Roofing, you'll be greeted by value-driven professionals in clean company vehicles and crisp uniforms who show up with a smile and take the time to answer your questions. Because for us, it's not just about the roof. It's about protecting your home, your family, and the trust you place in us. If you're thinking about your roof or siding, call the local company that puts integrity first, Newman Roofing. Call today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Friday, July 25th is Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair. Visit the Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, the Department of Insurance, and other state agency booths. Come learn about mental health resources available to you and to your family. Join us on Friday, July 25th for Recovery Ohio's Mental Health Day at the Ohio State Fair.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Broadcasting from the